Yogi is wrong. I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the sauce with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof, I'm a lie about a motor. No proof, like I always wanted him. I never hated him. I never traded him. And if I did, I never traded him. You know what? What is a star? Like another city, the driver's like Florida. Gucci get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. Hey, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever and cute as can be. You can watch it on YouTube with viewing for free. Hey, this one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wondering what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Back with you here for another day of Hump Day.
Hump day.
What's up, Leroy? How are you, man?
Nothing. Giving a whole bunch of tickets away.
Whole bunch of tickets away. We got if you guys want to go to live. We got, 2 4-packs every hour this show. So that's 8 4-packs in total.
Let me tell you. Not for nothing. But if you experience live one time, you will change your mind about golf.
You haven't lived till you've been to live.
Well, just because it's not that everybody thinks of golf as being uptight and, shh.
Yeah.
And,
Hoity-toity.
and this is like if somebody took a DJ in a club to a golf course.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun time. It's a
Fun.
fun time. It's a fun time. Let's get the headlines. Brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory at the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Man, a lot of ways we could go here. A lot of headlines going on with all of our teams down here. We got a big Heat game tonight, which we'll get to in 15 minutes of Heat as they go for their 6th win in a row tonight against the Boston Celtics. 7:30 is your tip-off from that hellhole in Boston. 6:15 is pre-Heat. The Panthers. I'm
Like 5 minutes. Wait, I was thinking to myself after the game ended.
Oof.
5 minutes ago, I thought it was a 2-pointer.
I thought we were going home 2-1 filthy.
Yeah.
I was like, this is our wheelhouse. We were playing great.
2-1 filthy.
We were gonna be such filthy little cats. And we got the revenge Niko Mikkola goal. Our boy Mackie got it done again. And Seth Jones is playing his ass off in the 3rd period. I'm like, here we go. What the hell happened? And it happened in slow motion. I'm like watching them like, no. Did you have the call from Plagans last night of regulation? 9 seconds left. Nick Suzuki puts it in wide open. Vanecek's facing the other pipe. And I'm just like, what just happened? I'm sick to my stomach. Pain. I can't tell if you're looking at me. Like, you're giving me this look, Marcos, like I got it, but now you're giving me like I don't got it.
No, I got it, but I'm just playing.
Slavkovsky able to pull the puck free. Now he gets things started. Long feed for Hudson, 15 seconds. Mounts him over the bench. The extra attacker on his way back on. Hudson, poke check. Was able to get a shot through. It's loose and they score. Hudson got a shot away from the near point. It deflected out front. Waiting on the back door was Nick Suzuki, and he ties this game at 2 for Montreal with 8.4 seconds to go.
8.4 seconds. So in a minute, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
The Panthers went from winning to losing.
That's right.
And like
2 points.
I've heard from it. There's one thing for gut wrenching. That is just like you went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows within.
Yeah, and you went from a chance tonight. Like you have a huge matchup tonight against the Leafs, where you could have passed them for first place, and now you're in third place. I'm like,
Right.
What the hell just happened?
In a minute.
Here's the game winner. Suzuki again, wraparound goal. Vanecek couldn't flex enough.
Caulfield, he'll give to Suzuki. Buys some space, right circle, cruising in, tries to wrap it around. He scores. Nick Suzuki in overtime.
You can clearly tell that wasn't a home game.
Suzuki tied it with less than 9 seconds to play. He forced the game into overtime. Suzuki wins it for Montreal. 29 seconds into overtime.
All right, there you go. Doug Plagans on the call last night. That's our road to repeat, brought to you by Celsius. Hockey fans, maybe you want to sit this one out, but if you do, grab a Celsius, the official energy drink of
Your Florida Panthers. Listen. This is how I felt before 5 minutes left to go in the game.
Yep.
And then after overtime, I felt like
something harder.
No. Grape. Just blah. Grape. I was like, fly by. Yeah. Grape.
I feel partially responsible, and I'm sorry.
Why?
I did mention his name yesterday multiple times. Because,
Suzuki?
Yeah, I just was interested in the name. I even looked him up. Now he's scoring game winners, and I didn't even put any chili peppers on it. I'm sorry, everyone. This is me. I'm such an influence under South Florida sports that sometimes I just got to watch what I say.
I can't even blame you, Frog Boy, even if you are the mush.
Thank you.
You know, I don't want to.
I appreciate that.
If anybody we got to blame, it's Vanecek, dude.
All right. Yeah.
No, I really thought even Paul Maurice was like flummoxed yesterday. He's just like, I don't know, 82 games. It's, I guess, going to happen. And somebody was like, you know what the funny thing was? He was asked a question about like, are you angry? And he's like, and he's very clearly angry, but he's like, he's not going to let you feel his feelings. I'm not going to let you have my pound of flesh. Because this Canadiens report is like, it's tough loss, eh? Sacre bleu. And he's like, not a hard loss. Not a hard loss at all. But you can tell he's furious.
I mean, who would be? Like, there's nothing worse. Like, there's going from the lowest of lows to think you having no chance to winning. That's great. But to go from thinking there's no chance you have of losing, let me tell you, you stare at the scoreboard, and I'm going to tell you firsthand. You stare at the scoreboard and you go, what just happened?
I don't feel like I should have reacted the way that I did last night, but I did. I'm just like, I just kept staring at my screen. I'm like,
Right.
And I get, they've just had more of these this year of the third quarter. This wasn't like the same as a whole goal collapse. Like they allowed 3 shots in the third period. Like they played.
They allowed 4 shots in the final period in overtime, and 2 of them were goals, which makes it even that much more frustrating.
All right. Well, they're back at it tonight. Toronto and Florida get going at 7:30. You can hear that game on 790 The Tick Cat. So be prepared for that. Heater on QAM tonight. That's your lineup. Marlins beat the Mets yesterday. Beat them up 4-2.
Yeah. Torpedo bats.
Maybe.
I don't know. Are we going to do that thing?
Do what?
What
thing?
The hope thing.
Wow. There's nothing really to hope. I mean, they've been playing good baseball.
I know, but
Sandy,
I'm nervous.
Sandy was good yesterday. He wasn't great. he had a little bit of a shaky couple innings in there, and then he settled down for his last 2. He went 5. He was talking yesterday. He goes, "It is weird. I don't feel like," he's come back with the surgery. He goes, "I don't feel quite all the way back. Like he's like, I get more tired than I did before the surgery." I thought that was kind of interesting, but listen, he still hums it. I mean, he's still throwing,
Well, I think
97 and it's moving all over the place.
I think in that situation, like there is no replicating game angst, right? And so it's one thing to pitch 60 or 70 pitches in a bullpen session where you're yucking it up with your boys, you're concentrating and you're throwing heat. It's another thing to get into the emotions of a game, and sometimes that sucks the life out of you. And if you haven't done it in a while, it's not that you're tired, but mentally you get a little exhausted. So I think that's probably what he's experiencing. I mean, he knows he's probably in pretty good shape. He knows he, can throw, but it's just the angst of the game and the intensity of those moments that kind of suck a little bit of life out of you.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say is it looked like he got stronger as the game went on. Like
so it's like certain things he got to fight through.
Yep.
Like
Bender got the save yesterday. It was a little dicey there.
a dicey. Put it this way: a situation that's dicey with a closer. Welcome to the Marlins.
Yeah, but it's not his fault. He came in and he nailed it down. Honestly, it wasn't even Veneciano's fault because there was an error, and then they're doing matchups and stuff like that. But they got through it. I mean, listen, those Mets they got some boppers in there. They got some boppers, and they got the win. They go for the series win today at 4:40 is your first pitch.
When was the last time they won the first 2 opening series? That's got to be a while.
I don't know. Did they do it a couple of years? I mean, they made the playoffs a couple of years ago, but I don't remember what they. I remember last year they were started like 3-15. Like that was terrible.
Every time I hear a start like that, you know who I think of? Robbie.
Cycle of doom. Let's see. 22. Did they do it? Nope. I'll do some research, Leroy. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We're already at.
I mean, because keep in mind, the starts the last few years have been brutal.
Kyle Stowers went deep yesterday for the Fish for his first home run, a real tater tot, and Graham Pauley, Moonlight Graham. Remember him?
Mm-mm.
Field of Dreams?
No.
You don't remember Moonlight Graham?
Okay. When you say it that way.
I tell you what, though, we do have some no. Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer died.
Is that Batman?
He was Batman. Wasn't he Batman one year? Yeah.
He was Batman. He was Iceman.
He was Iceman. I think that was was that probably the start of this? Like where I know he's done stuff before and after, but Iceman was the.
Yeah, Iceman's the thing, and then Batman's the thing. Those are the things for him. Finally, the Pinks.
Yeah.
Late action tonight if you want to watch your Pinks. 11:30 against LAFC in the Champions Cup quarterfinal.
Is this the first leg?
I don't know.
Second? I think it may be the second leg. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
I think it's the second leg because they played here this past weekend.
Yeah, but was that a regular season game? Because I think Messi.
Oh my goodness, they're doing this to me again.
Season. Yeah, I think that was regular season.
So let me get this straight. What? Hear me out here.
Okay.
I play you in a game, but that don't count for the trophy. That's just regular stuff.
It does count for a trophy. It just counts for a different trophy.
Well, that sounds like if the 2 Super Bowl teams spent a week off practicing against each other.
Hey, go ask Dan Day if this is the first leg. Hold on. Marcos is asking.
I thought they played this weekend.
Yeah, but this is not the same thing. This is a tournament. Tournament's in the middle of the week.
They didn't tell me to go bleep myself.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why.
But did you still get the answer?
He's not here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, am I the only one that's confused by this? Or are you just like,
No, I
whatever?
get it. I'm starting to get it. I know that this is, I just don't know if they played. I think it's the first leg.
What does that mean?
It's the quarterfinals.
So you play 2 legs, right? And
I can tell you.
instead of best of 3, you play 2 legs and they go home goals, away goals, and it's like
This is leg 1 today. Today's leg 1.
all right.
Tim Legler.
Tim Legler.
You know, Tim Legler owns the record for best 3-point. I think it was like 50% one year.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That had to be like a minimum attempts, though. Yeah.
No.
All right.
Well,
It's the first leg.
first
I've
leg, 11:30 p.m. What a weird. Like I know it's in LA.
It's in LA. It's late. 8:30.
11:30. Jeez.
Get your sleepy poos in.
All right. Well,
Nah, you'll let me know tomorrow.
No panic. 15 minutes of heat. That's next.
WQAM.
bum, bum. 15 minutes of heat here for you. 560. QAM. Miami Heat. Taking on the Boston Celtics tonight. That gets going tonight at 7:30 from TD Garden. 6:15 is preheat. Solana, Tommy Tig, they'll get you going. Miami Heat going for their sixth straight win. If the Heat win, then they are still alive, I guess, to get possibly to the 6th seed, even though that's probably not going to happen. But if they lose tonight, they are locked into the play-in. Now, the Raptors got eliminated last night, so the 4 play-in teams are set. We just don't know what order they're going to be in. There's a lot of fluctuation that's going on right now amongst those 4 squads. But the Pistons have not officially clinched a 6th seed yet, or the Bucks, I believe. So there's still some room for stuff there. But as far as the Heat, they're going to be in the play-in. I mean, these are all the clinching scenarios. Wild night last night in the NBA.
Oh my God! Did you see how Denver blew it?
I did see how Denver blew it. I watched. I fell asleep poos midway through second overtime. I was just like, oh, losing, fading, punting. Ugh. But Joker was amazing. He had 61, 10, and 10, and Russell Westbrook said, "Hold my beer." Watch me blow this. Russell Westbrook missed free throws, blew a layup, and then fouled the 3-point shooter. All in the span of, he basically had an end of the Panthers game. They're like, we got this, baby. Joker, 60-point triple-double.
I mean, 60-point triple-double.
60-point triple-double. Here we go, baby. And he played, what did he play yesterday? 53 minutes yesterday?
Yeah, around 53.
He was great. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing. And even like Anthony Edwards, who was great, like starting in the 4th quarter, it was like a great game, great back and forth, because Edwards was like kind of shaky. And then as the end of that game gets going, he gets going. And you're just like, man, this was a great back and forth between these two teams. Joker's friggin' incredible. And then it ends like that. You're just like, oh no, Russ, no. And
he's kind of too good of a player to do that. That sounds like something like JaVale McGee would do.
He's a little bit of a wild card. He plays full speed, and sometimes it gets him in trouble. That's like, why do you think he's been on 900 teams now? And then the Warriors defeated the Grizzlies. Another great game.
Yep.
Steph Curry, 52 points, had 12 3-pointers. And Jimmy Butler had 27. Very clutch down the stretch. Got to the line twice, or two trips to the free throw line down the stretch. Stole it from Ja Morant, so he took it home for the Warriors. Ja Morant had 36. I want him, Leroy. He's so good. Wow. I mean, he is athletic. Wow. What a guy. Now, everybody's mad at him today. And I just want to say, I'm Team Ja here. We got to stop being so sensitive. Oh, he gave finger guns to the Warriors bench. Oh, heavens to Betsy.
I don't understand why we get so caught up in game antics. Right? Like some of the gestures, like, come on.
I get it. If he's should a person who's
you think he's thinking about that now? Ooh, better not do finger guns. I got in some gun trouble.
Well, was he holding a machine gun, Frog Boy, or was it 2 finger guns? I go 2 finger guns. That's just hey.
There you go. Normal.
That's just normal.
Yeah.
Normal celebration. But Steph Curry was offended.
Really?
He was looking at him like, It's the bits. You can see the look on his face.
The bits.
He was upset, clutching his pearls. I'm like, and this is coming from the guy who's sniping all over the court. He's upset at Ja Morant.
You know why? Because
He's the one that has everybody in basketball doing the night.
That's what I'm saying. He takes a little nappy poo instead. So why can't we just
Why can't we just take a nappy poo, suck our thumbs?
man?
Like, I never got upset about celebrating success, right? And in big time moments, guys come through and they celebrate. And like, when you're on the other side, either fans or players, and you complain about how somebody celebrates, that's just you being a sore loser.
It's being a sore loser, and it's also it's also in the heat of competition. Remember the time where Jimmy Butler got fined in a game he wasn't even
With
playing?
hip thrusting?
Because, yeah, he was having sex with the air.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what is he doing? And I'm like, who cares? Like, first of all, he's on the bench. He wasn't even playing in the game. You guys went to him. Now, did the Heat use that GIF a lot on their Twitter account? Yes, they did. But, like, how is that on Jimmy Butler?
Or
Yeah,
how about this? So we played Dallas one time, and me and Chuck Evans, who's the fullback, we were in a special teams meeting, and some guy had a big tackle, and he rode the horse all the way to midfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I looked at Chuck. I say, let me tell you something. If I score a touchdown, I'm riding that damn horse, right? Scored a touchdown, broke a whole bunch of tackles, rode the horse, got a letter saying we don't grab our junk during the games. I'm like, I was riding a horse.
This was another thing too. It's like they just were starting to do this in the NFL where they're like, oh, we're gonna ban sexual gestures, and they have a whole new list of things. I'm like, dude, is this like the 80 Canes we're trying to outlaw because Randall Thrill Hill goes up the tunnel with the guns with the 6-shooter? Like, can we stop? Can we stop getting, like, I get it. Ja Morant, if anybody's not supposed to do it, it probably shouldn't be Ja Morant.
I mean, you think he's thinking about that?
Well, I think the thought process would be if you were to be Adam Silver or whoever has to hand down and be like, Ja, really, dude? Like, you couldn't have done like a fist bump. You could like Ja Morant. He's like, you could have done sexual thrusts.
You know what I would say? Heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment, baby.
Heat of the moment. Like it's like, I think we make a big deal about things that we shouldn't, and then everybody gets all up in arms over it because you made a big deal about it, right? So think about this. If nobody had said nothing about Ja Morant's celebration, it would be no big deal. Everybody would say, oh, he's feeling it. He's feeling it, right? That's it.
He was feeling it.
But the fact that somebody said something, you know, it's like the Joe Buck Randy Moss thing.
That is disgusting.
Right. No, everybody in the stadium knew what Randy was doing except the announcers. I laughed. Or maybe that's the 3. Everybody does the
Nah, that ain't a 3, dude.
Nah.
That's double barrel.
So
I
get it. I get that maybe it wasn't the best thing he could have did with his situation or circumstances. But I got to tell you, man, sometimes in the heat of the moment, when you come through, you ain't really thinking about approved or not approved celebrations. You know what I mean? Like, you want these guys to be thinking about that?
I want
think about that.
I want him to do the 6-shooter, you know, like take it out and go and then go, you know, like shoot a McGavin. Like, I want the smoke to be blown off the barrel. That's the way it's got to go. When he comes down to Miami, that could be a celebration.
Yeah. Save that for down here.
Yeah.
they banned the nose wipe in the NFL.
Now,
Where's
I
White?
will say this.
That
The
was a
one
safety
thing
ball.
that Ja isn't,
Mhm.
that has been a big requirement of Heat basketball is efficient.
He was last night.
I mean, sure, he's been.
We can fix that.
Dude, he's amazing. I like
I'm not
sorry.
even.
I gotta watch that guy, and I'm like, you don't want this guy on your basketball team? Look at him. Look at him.
It's not that. It's not that at all. He's a bona fide star. Okay. I'm not even, I'm not arguing that. But what I would say, if I plug Ja Morant on the Miami Heat, does he make them better?
He would arguably fill
So-
like probably their biggest need.
And what is that?
Shot creating point guard. Like
Yep.
on his own offense. Perfect pairing with Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Calais Ware. Like,
Okay.
give me Ja Morant.
So you say the starting five would be Ja, Tyler, Bam, Calais, Wiggins, or Wiggins is gone.
I gotta trade him, we'll see.
You see, listen,
Whatever.
do we not? Are we underestimating how good Andrew Wiggins is?
Wouldn't know. He never plays for the Heat. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't figure that's not a big deal for you, being that you wanted to keep Jimmy.
Well, Jimmy's done good things for me. I don't know I don't know Andrew Wiggins.
Right. You don't know
Really
Ja
nice.
either. He hadn't done nothing for you either.
He could though.
See,
Couldn't he?
wait, Marcos, do you understand why this man is so difficult to work with on certain days? Right?
You know who
Because if he likes somebody, all of his previous rules be damned. I want him.
Yeah.
That's it. This dude has made it so that in his mind, right? Regardless of all the other stuff, regardless of the injury, regardless of anything that Ja's done, I want him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna
You don't have to
apologize.
you don't have to be sorry.
Well, it's just
I'm
like
just saying.
I am what I am, and I want Ja Morant. And by the way, you know what?
You trading Lil Jovic for Ja? See,
I gotta talk about it. I gotta have a meeting about it. I don't want to.
a meeting, dude. What do you understand? You understand that a trade of that magnitude, first of all, you got to match contracts. And second of all, you're
Not a
going to
big
have
deal.
to give up somebody young. And I don't mean, here's hold on. Let me do a Tobin trade.
That's
No. Let me do a Tobin trade. Okay. We're going to bring in Ja. Probably makes what, 50 million? I'm going to just estimate. We're going to give them Wiggins, Scary Terry, and somebody else. And a young one.
Mhm.
Jaime. That would be your trade.
Probably gotta give up Jovic.
But I'm
probably
just
would give up
saying.
They're not gonna give
Wait.
it where. They're not gonna give it where.
Wait, so and here's the amazing thing. For all the things you say about Jimmy,
Mhm.
Wiggins was damn near the MVP of the finals.
No, he wasn't. He was.
Well, he
good.
wasn't.
He wasn't the MVP of the finals. Now you're getting. You're
was-
getting.
Oh my
You're doing
God.
a little too much now, dude.
Hold on.
He was the.
Let me
second or
explain
third
something
best-
to you.
He was a very good player. No.
He-
I'm not gonna let
He
you
was
do that.
about, hold on.
He was
hold
not.
on.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
No,
He wasn't. But wait,
No, he was.
you remember the year the Heat went to the finals and Caleb?
Yeah.
So that was what Wiggins was in the finals.
He was very good for them.
Okay.
He was. I'm not.
He
But-
and he has a ring. Does that not
So
does
let me get
that
this straight.
skew
You
the
think- I just want to be clear here. You're
yes?
telling me right now
Yes.
that
So,
you think the Miami Heat, if they, let's say a clean slate
clean
next
slate.
year,
Right. Mm-hmm.
I have to trade Ja Morant for Andrew Wiggins. Forget everything else. You think that their record is better if Andrew Wiggins is on the team instead of Ja Morant? And don't give me games played. Don't be cute. I'm talking Ja Morant plays 62 games like he normally does. Andrew Wiggins also, missing the whatever it is. Ja Morant, Andrew Wiggins, swap them out. You think that the Heat have a better record with Andrew Wiggins? Be honest, Posh.
Yes. Here's why. Because Wiggins plays on both sides of the ball.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
Do live. Do the live read.
He doesn't believe you.
But why doesn't he believe me? All right, fine. Let me tell you something about Liv.
Oh, up.
No. We're going to be out there tomorrow. And you know how much we like to party. And you know we love our golf down here in South Florida. And the next LIV event is this weekend. LIV Golf returns Trump National Doral this weekend, April 4th through 6th. And because it's at the Blue Monster, they're going big. Join some of the giants of the game in John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, and more. They got huge DJ sets, epic street food, and Scott Punk legend Sublime headlining Saturday night. Grab your tickets now at livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
The Heat's 5
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM.
By the way, so to this is pretty funny. So somebody sent Joel Perez or Joel. Yo, that LIV Golf website is under construction. Don't worry, there's a concept for it. It's LIV Golf, not Live Golf. So why don't you put in LIV instead of LIVE?
I was just saying, I was just on it yesterday. I was like, it's a fantastic website.
No, so Joel, put in LIV because it's LIV Golf, not Live Golf, and you're good to go.
In fairness to him, like if you don't know, if maybe Joel's not from down here, and maybe he doesn't know the club LIV, like maybe that's just not in his vernacular. I don't know.
Right. By the way, and this is an upset. Normally in conversations like this, I get attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Have some fun. Come on. Who doesn't want Ja? You're losing this one.
No, I'm not.
You're losing this one in the chat.
I'm not losing this one.
You are.
How?
Dude,
Four idiots
click
on
over the comments and look at the comments.
People? They listen to me. They're my rats. I'm the Pied Piper. I don't listen to them. They listen to me.
Oh,
I will tell them who they want, and they will like it.
You're a fraud. You know why? Because if they had said the other way, you would have been like, yo, you losing this.
Let me tell you something, dude.
No,
you're
wrong.
Nothing I listen to less. There's nothing I listen to less than the YouTube and Twitch chat.
You're wrong.
They are
wrong.
They are my yes men.
Dude,
that's what they do.
Wrong.
And when they disagree with me, it's just because they haven't learned their lesson yet. So trust me when I tell you, they will be whale calling for Ja Morant by the time summer hits. And that's how it's going to be. And they're going to like it. And you're going to like it. And we're all going to like it. You want to know why? Because Ja Morant's coming to the Heat. And you want to know how I know he's coming to the Heat?
So here's the deal. Okay. Who gives you a better chance to beat Boston? Ja or Wiggins?
Ja.
Who is he gonna guard?
Doesn't matter. He's gonna put buckets in. What's Andrew Wiggins gonna do? Score 14 points in a quarter, then we never hear from him again?
Oh my God.
Hey, we're gonna find out. We'll see how much Wiggins can help against Boston. We're gonna find out. Oh, wait, we can't tonight because he's hurt again. Sorry.
It's funny how
okay, let me ask you this. Dude.
Sure.
Let me ask you this. If the Heat end up in the 2-7 against Boston, how much is Andrew Wiggins gonna help the Heat? You think they're gonna beat Boston?
I don't think you're good enough to beat Boston, but I think they have a
why?
better chance. They have a better chance with Wiggins over Ja. They have a better chance with Wiggins than Ja.
You're a child. I got to be honest. Do you take Flintstone vitamins in the morning?
Am I? Wait.
What do you like?
Am I a child? Am I a child?
You are a child.
I think you're the only one that thinks that.
Yeah.
That Ja gives you a better chance to beat Boston than Wiggins.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins could lead somebody to lead a Western Conference team to a 2 seed in his career. Yeah, he could do that. Respectfully, he's a nice man. He's a nice man.
They got a lot of other good players on that team.
Who?
Memphis.
And who's the dude though?
He's the dude. Yes, I'm not disputing that. Why?
How did they do without him? How'd they do?
Oh, they were terrible last year.
Yeah, they picked 6th in the lottery.
So no, I don't like. He's tiny, right?
Have you seen him jump?
Yeah.
How tall is he when he jumps?
You are so caught up by measurables than actually the game.
I just don't understand. Like you're just dismissing him as a player. It's just
I'm not. No. Do not say that. I am not dismissing Ja as being a great player. I'm not.
You want to know his
what
age?
What I'm saying is that okay, you put him on the Heat team with the defensive demands that they have, right? And he's gonna get destroyed.
He's not gonna get destroyed.
Okay.
He's not gonna get destroyed.
I think you're the only person that thinks this.
That's okay.
That Ja would be better on this team than Wiggins.
I don't understand like what about watching Andrew Wiggins over the last 15 games has led you to believe, when they had the longest losing streak that they've had in, that's right, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So do tell, other than his 40-piece against the Hornets, do tell what has impressed you so much that would lead you to believe that Andrew Wiggins, which no general manager in the history of basketball would take over Ja Morant.
That's not true.
It is true.
Because he plays on both ends of
If
the floor.
I had a draft today, Leroy, Ja
would go first.
Players you could take in the
Ja
draft.
would go first. Ja would go first.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You know who?
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. It's a stupid.
It's not. No, you're right. It is a stupid argument. It is a stupid argument because nobody would take Andrew Wiggins over Ja Morant.
Okay.
Does he have length and can he do things that Ja Morant can't do? Yeah, but can he also can he carry a team? No, he can't.
Okay.
And what has this team needed? You've said this literally for the last years. You won't even call Jimmy that. You won't call Jim. You're taking all the things that Andrew Wiggins does, and you're like, I would take that. That's what Jimmy gives you. But you're like, nah, Jimmy's not a guy. I want a guy. I want a dude. I want a guy who can give me 40. Well, Ja can. He's averaged 26, 27, 25 in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sitting here because he did the little pew, pew, pew,
no, that's not don't do that. Don't do that.
Then why?
Don't do that.
Why? Then why
don't
would you
do
dismiss his talent?
I would say this. Ja over the years has had questionable judgment on and off the court. Right? He can score. He's a scorer. Okay? Not even questioning that. I'm not questioning his talent. Okay? But he's not very efficient. I don't know if you, over the course of your career, can become efficient.
He shot 47% last year, which is not bad from the field. He's in his career as a 47% shooter. This is his lowest of his career that he's had. He's not a good shooter.
Right.
Like he's not a good 3-point shooter. He's elite at the rim.
Okay.
He's elite at getting to the free throw line.
Okay.
Like there's other efficiencies in the world. And oh, by the way, in this case, he would be sitting next to one of the greatest shooters on the planet. Did you imagine Ja Morant to Tyler Hero? Bang!
Okay. I think it has no chance of happening.
Well, you know who his agent is, right?
Who's that?
Bernie Lee?
No, thank God.
Thank God.
No, thank God. No, thank God. No, thank God. Nope. Just a little man I'd like to call 1, 2, 3, dude.
Oh!
Mike Mother Bleeping Miller.
Really?
Finals hero.
Wow.
And best friend of Miami Heat Vice President Udonis Haslem. Look at that. And podcast co-host. Best friend with Udonis Haslem. And he signed with him last year before the season. So, isn't it interesting that all of a sudden there's this smoke around Ja Morant and he just happened to leave for a Miami Heat Finals hero as an agent? Kind of feels like a guy that had 1 foot out the door.
1 foot?
Where does he want to? Where does he want to take those feet?
Can I
Maybe he
tell
wants
you?
to just take one shoe off. Maybe he wants to take one shoe off
Yeah.
and walk to the beach, dude.
Can I just say this?
How much you want for that shit?
Your this should be a cartoon.
What?
With some of your machinations.
What do you mean?
Just in general. Like how you tie everything together to say a player's going to be a Heat player.
It's something.
It is a cartoon.
Could be something, could be nothing.
Right?
It could be something.
I got you.
Why would they do that?
I mean, if you were going to get in the room, just have Udonis Haslem be like, hey, Mike, is he ready?
You know, over our years, You have done this right here with no less than 20 players in 3 different sports.
That's fair.
Okay.
I got one for
So-
Giannis too.
So you understand why I may be a little reluctant to just, because you do this all the time.
I can't deny that. But it
Yeah.
doesn't make it untrue.
You do. Ja Morant is not going to be a Miami Heater.
We don't know.
He's
that.
not. He's
No.
not. No,
No.
maybe not. No, he's not.
You think he's gonna be in Memphis next year?
I just don't think I don't think that the Heat brass are thinking our solution or what we like is going to be in a 6-foot point guard.
6'2". Don't cheat him.
Yeah, but he's like 6'2", 130.
Yeah. Explosive.
Okay, yes, he is. He's all those things you say. I'm not questioning his ability. Okay. How does he fit with the Heat?
Good question, Leroy. Good question. He fits fantastically. And then you know
That's
what
because you want him. You're
what I'm
making him
thinking,
fit.
dude? You know who else is probably going to leave for the cheapskis?
Hmm?
Let's get Kevin Durant too.
Oh,
We have Morant Durant
yep.
2025-26. We got, and this is what I'm talking about. Morant,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler,
Mm.
Kevin Durant,
Mm.
Bam Ware.
Oh, and we get to keep everyone.
So you have just shipped Wiggins out.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
nice
come on.
knowing you, dude. I think he doesn't even want to be here.
Nah.
He looks like Tennessee. He looks like Tennessee is basically the Canada of America.
Listen,
True.
I know that
Say that all
the
the
Heat
time.
don't like small point guards.
They don't.
I don't know. I
They
just
don't?
saw that.
They don't. There's one up in the rafters. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Tim Hardaway.
What? Tim Hardaway was a small, and that was a different time.
Also,
All the point guards were 6 foot.
Wingspan.
All the point guards were 6 foot in the
How big do you
90s.
think Tim Hardaway is?
Huh?
So what? You can't. There's no throwbacks in this world anymore.
Tim Hardaway, 6 feet.
On a good day.
Oh.
Really?
What?
I love the way you just to make your point, you're gonna make him shorter. Like, come on, dude. And all of a sudden, Ja Morant is 6'8".
No, he
Like-
has a 6'7"
like-
wingspan.
Wait. How tall is Ja Morant?
6'2", but a 6'7" wingspan.
See, dude.
Look at that.
Yeah. And he has the weight of a grasshopper.
Dwayne Wade was basically 6'2".
Look at that.
See what I'm saying? Dude, this is why this becomes impossible. This is why this becomes impossible. Even the camera doesn't want to look at you. The camera turned. It's like I can't do this. The camera's
If you
like,
guys, if you want to go to Live
on Friday.
on Friday, got a 4-pack of tickets right now to caller number 5. Caller 5 right now to 305-567-0560. We'll get a 4-pack of tickets to Friday's round of LIV Golf at Trump Doral. If you guys want to go, 305-567-0560. Caller number 5 gets a 4-pack of tickets to LIV Golf Miami coming up this Friday. Caller 5 to 305-567-0560. Our Tua is next.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
I see trees of green, red roses. I see them blue.
Hour 2 of the program.
And I say to myself, what a wonderful world.
I'm going to the Cardinals.
Man, I'm gonna miss that guy.
I'm really bummed out that Calais Campbell is going to the Cardinals. Now, they gave him a lot more money than apparently the Dolphins were offering.
Which is amazing because here's what I can't understand. I don't know if we necessarily understand the importance of players on our team.
Right?
Because there's two situations that I can think of where those guys made a pretty big impact and you try to lowball them. Calais Campbell and who's the Russian the year before that went to the Vikings? Van Ginkel.
Thanks. They didn't even
Right.
offer Van Ginkel a contract.
They didn't even offer him a contract. Like,
That was crazy.
that's how insignificant you thought he was?
I've
What games are you watching?
He was easily like one of the most impactful defenders.
Right.
It keeps happening on defense.
And then you realize you got rid of a Pro Bowler. Because Van Ginkel went to the Pro Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't like, what games are you watching? Because the games I'm watching, I'm looking at these guys going, ooh, he's important. He's important. Okay, we need to keep him. We need to do this, right? And those are the first guys out the door.
Do you think Anthony Weaver, when he gets the news yesterday, he goes, does he need a minute?
No. Here's the problem. In all businesses, your boss makes a decision that affects you, but it's your boss. So basically, you just go with the flow and try to be a company guy.
Okay, but when he's sitting at the dinner table with
By himself?
with Mrs. Weaves and they're having their meatloaf.
Oh, they talking about work.
Like he goes, got rid of our captain and our only other defensive lineman besides Zach Sealer. But other than that, honey, pass the ketchup. Like,
You think he's eating a meal that requires ketchup?
isn't meatloaf? I'm not a big meatloaf fan. I thought it was made with ketchup.
I
And
don't
then
think
people
it
have
Yeah.
ketchup on it.
Ooh,
Nah.
No,
I'm
not a
telling
big
you what.
meatloaf fan.
Maybe
I
gravy.
ain't gonna lie. As much as I love Big Spoon, right? Y'all know what's up.
Yeah.
If she ever came to me and said, I made a meatloaf, I said, you basically just made a square-shaped hamburger.
But like,
No, I'll pass.
can I just say, I know last year was a disaster with the quarterback, but I'm having a hard time. Let's get to our headlines. Brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory with Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. Remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are Doral Hyundai.
Hold on.
I'm not-
Before you say, can I put the disclaimer out there?
Yeah.
The disclaimer is this. The guy I do the show with sometimes wants a team with feelings and I like them and stuff like that, and not always with what they can actually do for the team. That being said, we'll probably be on the same page with this one.
Let's say the difference was 3 million, 2 million, right? Now, I know people are pointing out the Eichenberg thing, which you guys know how I feel. Like, you literally could put a mannequin out there and I'd be happier than having Liam Eichenberg there. Fine, I get it. He's a cheap lineman. I'm still having a hard time with the Zach Wilson thing. I really am. Because I heard Mike McDaniel this week say he was a target of ours. And the fact that he got one of the highest contracts of all backup quarterbacks to a guy you might need. But if you play him, your season's probably over anyway, as opposed to a guy I know they need. And I don't know, Leroy, that just doesn't sit too hot with me.
We did it back-to-back years. Like, who would have, like, I don't care what Van Ginkel's importance is to another team. Look at what his importance was to this team with your 2 Russians hurt.
Yeah.
So, like, it was even more spelled out for you with Van Ginkel because of your injuries. So, the Calais thing, here's one of those situations where I will say this. You have some veterans on this team, and one that there's only probably a couple of guys he respects in the room. And the one thing Calais Campbell does is garner respect.
That's right.
And that is a guy not only on the field, but you kind of need him in the locker room because you know everybody in that locker room respects him.
Yep.
And right now, with where this team is and all of the stuff being floated around about, you know, how things are run, you need some quality veterans to kind of be the voice of the coach in the locker room. That's what Calais Campbell is.
And the other thing
And
is,
so while we looking at age and we looking at that dude has more importance than just that. And I think that is what gets lost.
I don't know, man. It just seems to me like this was one of those where it clearly you're not going to like expect him to take the same thing that he took last year when he outperformed his contract the way that he did. But it's kind of like they felt like, yeah, little bump. Huh? Little bump. And maybe gets $6 million guaranteed.
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, like, what's been the win this offseason so far? What's been the like?
We didn't overpay for someone.
But they
That's our
can't.
win.
But they can't.
Well, that's our
because they have no money.
Nah.
But the big win is what? That they maybe signed a Pro Bowler off a torn Achilles?
Who's that?
Daniels, the guard? Like, is that the big win? Is the big prize a guy who's working his way back from a torn Achilles?
I don't know, because then if he does ball out and you got to pay him next year, then he'll be gone.
He's like, I don't know about his injury past.
Right.
Keep him around. We only signed.
I don't.
We don't give him new contracts.
Too healthy.
I don't know what the plan is, because you have some guys that you could have just kept to have some consistency. And I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is, in the near future. I always tend to wait it out a little bit, because at the end of the day, they could say, we let Van Ginkel go and we got chopped.
Yeah, they did.
Right. And so I'm going to wait, but I still think so think about this. It's just when he talked from week to week, you could just tell everybody in that locker room respected him.
Yeah, we were still hungry. And there it is.
I'm going to miss that guy. How are we going to be able to just tell someone?
We're still hungry.
No, we not. We are. We hungry, but we not going to Prime 112. We're going to Outback.
Yeah, Les.
With no blooming onion.
No blooming onion. Just the regular.
You're getting the marble bread.
Right. I mean, like 2 years ago, they were trading and getting rid of picks and F those picks and all that. And now we shopping at Temu.
Stun Steve says he was there to protect Tyreek from the police.
Right.
That's true.
Right?
They're like, nah, sorry. We got to pay Eichenberg $2 million guaranteed.
So
I
he
think-
got what, 5.5, 6 million?
He got 5.5. That could be 7.5.
Okay.
But 5.5 guaranteed. Apparently, I guess what was it? Dolphins were giving him 3. It was like the word.
Do you think, I don't know, I could be wrong. Leroy, do you think he's worth the contract, or do you think they drastically overpaid?
I would say a little bit of both, but here's the deal. Here,
Yeah.
he's worth that contract.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Do you think
So if he would have went and got that deal and then went to the Dolphins and said, "Here's what I'm getting. Can you match it?"
Yeah.
He's only getting that. But
I would
like,
say yes.
but like, and part of the thing is you're only getting that amount because he's 39.
Yeah.
And so it's an anomaly.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, oh, well, there's going to be a time where the wheels fall off. But it
Of
didn't
course.
like last year.
So you say
He played like a 28-year-old.
if he was 28, then he deserves 20 million
Yes.
for the way that he just played.
Dude, come on. He was amazing last year.
Yeah, but you're right. I am like, well, the wheels are gonna fall off, but they haven't.
I get it.
They haven't yet.
I
Take a
just think on this team,
Mhm.
when some of the guys that you named captain are questionable, having a guy like him in the locker room can solidify that dynamic of the team because you have some quality leaders in your locker room.
Yep.
And I think those are the parts of a franchise that people sometimes overlook, right? That those 3 or 4 guys that like they go, I don't care about Mike McDaniel, but that Calais, I want to do right by him. You need some of those guys in your locker room.
Schmeath and Schmalnick, who actually, of course, would make this point on everybody's lovable Calais Campbell. Counterpoint, he was already in a locker room that was lost.
Dallas,
I don't like it. Back after this.
we're still hungry.
The Heat's 5-game winning streak will be tested with the next stretch of games. They play the Celtics tonight. Spo says they're ready.
Another round, we need 30 more. Two-stepping.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Our guy Yuli the Monster Diaz is going to stop by the show. Haven't talked to him since his knockout victory a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He called out Mike Perry.
Did he?
Mike Perry had to leave the broadcast booth and go into the ring.
The chief violence officer?
That's right. Chief violence officer Mike Perry, Platinum Mike Perry.
Wow.
Called him out after knocking a dude out in one round.
That is interesting.
Those fights went fast.
You know, and that's what we
I would
want.
imagine so.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
You don't want that.
It's faster than bare knuckles because you got the gloves, right? Bare knuckles, they're a little bit skittish on punching.
It can be. It can be a little skittish on punching. We can ask him about that, like what the difference is.
You don't want to watch these boxing events yet. You pay for the pay-per-view. It starts at 8 p.m. Your fight doesn't start till 12:30. Poor Leroy's asleep already. We need quick 90-minute action.
It was like one of those things too, where like we had a delay in the broadcast. Now, I don't know if it was like an intentional delay because they were waiting for the UFC to be over, but they kept telling us there were technical issues. We were literally standing there at the broadcast table from like 4:30 because our producer kept saying, "We're gonna do a rundown." I was like, "All right, cool," or a rehearsal. I'm like, "All right, cool," and then the time just kept going and going and going,
rehearsal
and going, and we were supposed to go on the air at 6, and we didn't.
So what time did you end up going on air?
I think 7:15-ish.
You're standing there for 2.5 hours?
Conveniently after the UFC ended, which was a smart move because they did monster numbers. But I was wondering,
UFC did monster numbers or
no, bare knuckle did monster numbers. I mean,
Really?
Dirty Boxing 1 did monster numbers, because they did it on YouTube. It was free; everybody could watch it.
Okay.
But I was always one. I was like, I wonder if we really are having tech issues. Because I was like sitting there, I was like, I felt like everything was working fine. What moved? Something moved? I don't know. Pretty wild. Cats are back at it tonight. They're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're also going to talk to David Dwork. He's going to stop by next hour. We haven't had a little bit. We got to get our number one hockey expert, see what he thinks of last night's gut punch and what he makes of the playoff picture as a Cat. So he'll stop by as well. Let's give another 4-pack away before we a 4-pack of tickets. If you guys want to go to LIV on Friday, right now, caller 3 to 305-567-0560. Caller 3 to 305-567-0560 gets a 4-pack of tickets to LIV Golf this Friday. If you guys want to go to the tournament, caller 3 to 305-567-0560. You will come on in just a few minutes. But Leroy, tell us a little bit more about LIV. What do we got coming up here this week?
All right, so it's a party. That's all you need to know. It's a party. It's like being out at Phoenix on the 16th hole. It's at the Blue Monster, so you know it's a hell of a golf course. You got the giants of the game and Ja Morant, Bryce DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, plenty of more. They got huge DJ sets, epic street food, and Scott Puck Legend Sublime headlining on Saturday night. All you got to do to get your tickets is go to livegolf.com. That's livegolf.com.
WQA.
Everybody was kung fu.
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you.
Lightning.
560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let's talk to a local legend right now. This man is one of the maddest men in all of the 305. Just got a victory at Dirty Boxing 1. And he joins on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop many Toyotas there at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Oh, we just lost him. Where did he go? He was just there backstage.
He was indeed.
That was weird.
He was indeed. Maybe he's having the same technical issues that stalled Dirty Boxing.
That was weird. He was just there. I think he's getting back. I think he's reconnecting right now. Let's see if we can get him there. But yeah, he'll join us on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and ToyotaofHollywood.com. Yuli the Monster Diaz joins us there, coming off a victory. What's going on, Yuli?
What's going on, brothers? How you guys doing, man? I appreciate the opportunity again. Thank you.
Hey,
Good.
man, you said you got a victory in the first round. You delivered it, and so we gotta have you on to celebrate a little bit there in Dirty Boxing. You probably had one of the most chaotic fights of the night because Brian comes out of the gate, and you guys have fought before, and we talked about this. We didn't really know how the rule set was going to go and all that because it's a new sport. But I knew one thing was he can't come out of the gate and try and tackle you. What is your reaction in the moment when he's just like throwing the rule book out the window?
Honestly, my reaction in the moment was that it was a great takedown. I felt myself get lifted off my legs and I landed right on my back. But I know you were ringside watching. I got up immediately to try to destroy him, but the referee got in the way.
Did you after the fight? Did you ask him why did you do that?
Well, no. In the middle of the fight, once the referee got in the way and he let us fight again, he came up to me and he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, but." I heard after the fight he had made an announcement, like he said he had a surprise for everybody. I guess that was a surprise to try to tackle me.
Yeah, it was a wild thing.
Yeah.
Yuli, I want to ask you this, because you've done bare knuckles. You've done pretty much everything. I noticed in bare knuckles, when I went to bare knuckles, they're a little more hesitant to punch because it's bare knuckles, right? Is Dirty Boxing more aggressive because you have the gloves on, or there's still a certain level of you got to be a little hesitant because of the elbows and all the other things can come at you?
So as for me, I think I like Dirty Boxing. Anything with gloves on your hands after you do bare knuckle is a lot easier for me. You get punched with some gloves on. It's not the same as bare knuckle. So for me, there wasn't really no hesitancy. But once you're on the inside, they allow the elbows, they allow the Dirty Boxing. So you do got to watch yourself when you're in there. But I like it. I love the sport a lot. It's a brand new sport, and I'm honored to be one of the first guys ever fighting on it. So it was an amazing show too. We had Brendan doing a great job down on the sideline.
It was fun, man. I had a hell of a time, and all of the fights flew by. And then, of course, after it got to normalcy in yours, you went and finished off Brian quickly, which then led to you calling out Platinum Mike Perry. Did you have that in your mind the entire time that fight week? Like this was going to be the plan after your win, or you wanted to call out the chief violence officer of the sport?
I did. I had this planned all along. Me and Mike are good friends, man. I got nothing but love and respect for Mike. He's a legend in the sport. But me and him were supposed to fight in bare knuckle twice. We had 2 contracts already signed. Something happened. Some funny business along the way where we didn't get to fight each other. So I would love to fight him under his own promotion, under his own banner. He's a tough guy. I think me and him will be a great fight, and we'll sell out any show we go to.
Yeah, I think that would be an incredible one. So what the hell happened in the past one? Like you thought all along in the past matchups, and then when do you find out I'm not fighting Mike Perry?
So this was a few years ago when I was fighting for BKFC. I was going to be a second opponent. The contract was signed, and I don't know. I have no idea what happened behind the scenes. A week later, I got a different opponent. That contract fell through. I won that next fight. They got me again against Mike Perry. I actually spoke to him. We texted on Instagram. Look, I told him, look, man, I just got a contract with your name on it. I got nothing but love and respect, but let's handle business. He goes, all right, let's do it. And then again, later on down the line, I have no idea what happened.
That's got to be really frustrating as a fighter.
It is. It's happened to me a few times in that promotion, but I switched over promotions, and it was smooth sailing once I did that.
Talking to Yuli the Monster Diaz, coming off a win at Dirty Boxing Championship 1 a couple of weeks ago over Ryan Maxwell, a first round knockout finish. So, you get into this situation, how did you feel the whole rules played out? How did you just like the feel of it once things got settled down with the wild takedown at the start?
Man, that set the tone. So after that, everything was just smooth sailing, man. I felt good in there. I felt comfortable. Like I said, once I got gloves in my hands and I don't get hit with gloves, it's a different feeling. It's less jitters for me. So it was an exciting night. You were there ringside. You saw how many stars were there, how packed the place was. When I came out, I got a standing ovation. The city's always out there for me. So it was an amazing night, man. I loved it. Every ounce of it.
And you had Trick Daddy in the ring with you afterwards.
I had Trick Daddy walk me out, the mayor of Miami. So shout out to Trick, man. So we definitely brought out the big guns.
It was, man. It was I'm not surprised. We've been to so many events, so I wasn't surprised to see the city come out the way that it did. But I just felt like, I don't know, it was so cool to see something launch like that, and it felt big, and it felt like you guys all lived up to the moment. I thought the guys on the main card, from the first fight with Auga and Wolf to your fight, the legends afterwards. I just thought, did it feel like you've been in so many promotions? Did it feel like something special launched there?
It definitely did feel like something special, man. And that was right in my backyard, so it made it that much more special. I was a feature fight before Andrei Arlovsky and Yoel Romero. Yoel is a great friend of mine. Arlovsky is a legend in the fight game as well as Yoel is. I've been watching these guys come up in their fight, and for me to be, the fight leading to them to fight was just amazing. And again, a big thing for me is being on the DBX1. I know they had a show prior, but this was their actual real first show. I was on it. We basically headlined the card. We killed it. We brought out all the fans. Stars were there. I got to meet Patrick Bet-David. That was cool. It was star-studded, man. A great event.
It was fun, man. I think the next one will be even bigger. So it was great to see you in action. You got anything coming up, Yuli, that you want to promote? Anything in the community or any events coming up? Or are you going to kick back and relax for a little bit?
Well, right now I'm in South Carolina. There's some bare knuckle boxing fights in here on Friday. Everybody knows I'm commentating. I work with the company, so I'll be up here. So guys, look out for BKB this Friday. Tune in. And I'll be fighting back on the next Dirty Boxing card. I'm not sure when it's looking like. I think either May or June, but I'll be on that card. And I'm looking forward to working with you again, brother. You on the sideline calling my fights, man. It's exciting.
It was exciting, man. You're the best, man. Take care, Yuli.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Yuli, the Monster Diaz. Always appreciate him.
He's one of the guys that we've had on the show long before, he really started hitting the circuit.
Yeah, no, before he was record breaking and all that. We were having it.
Mhm.
That always fascinated me when we get into we could always tell when we go to these cards and it'd be like, man, how does this guy he's got a following that obviously is there because he's getting all of the city to come out and watch him.
Right.
But it's cool to see that rise up happen.
He frequents the Improv a lot, and one of my ridiculous game shows that I do, he was kind enough to hand out the belt for the winner of the game show. So very nice guy, man. Very well liked.
When is your next game show?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. That's right. Next Saturday, guys, April 12th at the Miami Improv. We have the best damn brunch show. It's a game show. It's a brunch. Mimosas.
That's when the ladies like to get some mimosas and chuckles.
Yeah, no, you want to celebrate before Easter, have some fun. It's the best place to do it.
Man, you're something.
You are.
You're something.
So we've had what was the card we went to in the Hard Rock where a brawl between fans started?
That was his fight.
Okay.
That was his fight. I believe somebody hit somebody with a purse. I saw a purse.
Oh yeah. Hey,
that was
man.
years ago. That was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
A while ago. Then somebody got not his fight, but then after that fight, I think it was Harold Calderon, JD Martinez, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but somebody got not one of the fighters, but the fans. Somebody got laid out in the bathroom.
Oh my god! Like these fights went all into the hallway, to the bathrooms. I'm like, it was all over the Hard Rock.
There was that was something, because you know, like that Hard Rock bathroom. When you go in, like, you know how it's like you go into a bathroom, but you have to kind of creep around the wall because they got lasers.
Yeah.
But like, I just remember peeking around like the men's side, and I just see feet pointing up. Just like, what happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not a good look at all.
Dude, listen, that was the craziest was when we went to Titan FC, and in the cage, the dude knocked Buddy out. Cold. And for whatever reason, the mother took offense to this.
Oh yeah, the mom got mad and wanted to kick the guy's ass.
Yeah, kick the guy's ass, dude. And I'm just like, what is happening right now?
Do you see what he just did to your son?
Okay, they got the oxygen mask out.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, he laid there with no movement for like 3 minutes.
Oh my god!
He got knocked out, and Mama wasn't having it.
It's pretty wild. I mean, like, dude, this is the cool thing to see. Like, we've been to so many things down here, but that did feel special. It felt like an event night. It was hobnobbery with kicking ass.
Right.
It was special. It looked cool.
It was fun.
You very rarely hear somebody say, "Oh, I can fight all day when we use gloves," because that don't hurt.
Yeah. It's true. So yesterday we got the news about Calais Campbell leaving Miami Dolphins. It does sound. Did you guys see what's going on with Jerry Jones? Like Jerry Jones offending Micah Parsons' agent.
What? Oh my god! It's like
he's
even when he says nothing, he says a lot.
He's like, we don't need an agent. I think I could just call Micah directly. I'm like, didn't Bill Parcells try and do that with Jason Taylor, like on a Post-it?
Yeah, that not gonna work, buddy. I don't think Micah Parsons is going to be there very long, though.
That kind of feels like one of those things. Like, I mean, look, I guess he could sit there and throw
here's the thing.
Be careful. Remember, Leroy hates Micah Parsons.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that people don't realize. All the players that play for the Dallas Cowboys know what's up. And they never waver, because in the end, they end up getting their money.
That is true.
And so if you're an agent and it's your job to get your guy maximum money, you deal with this. It's not your job to be in your feelings. It's your job to get your player paid. So whether he knows your name or not, your percentage out of that money don't change. So you better get that maximum money. And ain't nobody, and it's weird, for as tough of a businessman as Jerry Jones says, that everybody says he is, he always end up paying maximum dollars for the players because he wait too long.
Yeah, it is strange. It's like, I think he just likes, I don't know. He just likes
first of all, Dak Prescott could be making 40 to 45 million this year if he had taken care of it 2 years ago.
Definitely.
Now he's paying an additional $15 million for being hard-headed. But he paid the money.
But he always breaks.
And guess what? And even through this process of not getting paid, you ever notice no players ever get mad?
No.
They never get mad. They never get frustrated because they know in the end, Jerry gonna pay. So who's the businessman?
Jerry said, quote, I'm the one who has to sign the check, and Mike is the one who has to agree to it. That's the straightest way to get it done there. The one who writes the check and the one agreeing is talking to you. It's a strange thing. Like, why would you? I'm sure he's dealt with plenty of agents. Why is that?
Yes, because it. Listen, we all know this. You can't have an off season without Jerry Jones being in some kind of contract dispute.
Nope.
And
Because he likes it. He likes being,
right. So
he likes being at the forefront of this stuff, and he likes feeling like he's not losing the deal.
he's like Rich Tobin. He's always trolling. He's always, let's have a little fun, baby. Right? That's what he does.
One costs him a lot of
So
money.
I don't know why everybody is so caught up in it. Guess what? You ever hear the players say anything? They always like, no, it'll get done. It'll get done. Because you know why? Because if they had gotten it done when they wanted to, they would have got probably 20% less than old Jerry Jones waiting. So Michael Parsons will be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. He will be. Now, my question is, if you paying him as the highest paid non-quarterback,
Yep.
why is your defense so bad?
They lost Quinny.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you understand, you paying a guy more money than any other player other than a quarterback, and your defense is not good. So how does that measure in all of this?
He says, you should be worried about your ability to make it work. And you should be worried about what the player does. Does he have enough good health? Does he have enough skill to pay him the money for? The agent is not a factor here. I don't know what his name is. So my point is, I'm not trying to demean him or anything, but this isn't about an agent.
Hey, he said no disrespect. He's good.
Parsons took to social media and defended his agent, David Mulligetta, who said, I will not be doing any deal without David Mulligetta involved. Like anyone would with a good sense, I hired experts for a reason. There is no one I trust more when it comes to negotiating contracts than David. There will be no back doors in this contract negotiation.
Which is fine, and Jerry knows that. But here's what Jerry here's what Jerry did. Here's what Jerry did. He just basically put out there, Mike, I need you to be involved in this. That although I know I'm dealing with your agent, I would like us to have a conversation also. You see what I mean? Because in actuality, Micah is the boss. So if the agent says, I can get you 46, and Jerry says, I'm going to give you 44 with this, Micah can come over the top and say, I'll take it. So that's why you have that conversation, right? You have that conversation because if a player is involved at any point in time, he can say, all right, that's enough. That's good.
I mean, the way it's been going, he might just hold out and they might just go through this in his last year of his option and he'll pay him even more money next year. Because if he's going to.
Because nobody else is going to pay him that much money.
Probably not.
And that's the other thing that needs to be considered. Like, just because your team is at, say, 43, 44 million a year, does not mean somebody else going to give you 46. That's a lot of money, especially when teams are where they are with contracts.
Man, I'm all in. All right, dude. Take a break. Get you caught up with your headlines. A busy night in sports. Back after this.
I'm all in. Midday Sports
Dade South says Tobin is Jerry Scones. Schmied and Schmoller says Tobin is David Muffaletta.
Oh, muffalata. You don't know what that is. That's a New Orleans
Intangibles.
New Orleans sandwich.
I was thought, what is it? That sounds good.
It's about this big. It's on the olive roll.
Huh?
Olives, you
And
know.
they have a whole bunch of meats. Pull up a picture. Muffalata.
Muffalata.
I thought he was making a muffin reference.
No,
muffins.
he didn't know what he was saying.
I didn't know.
No.
Meh. That bread looks a little chewy.
It's usually like a big ass bun like this.
Got to fight with that bread. And there's a lot of olives on it.
It's olive loaf.
I don't like olive loaf. I don't like
olive loaf.
Like even when you get that jalapeno.
But here's the thing.
Einstein's.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It works well with the sandwich. So that's why you can't just do anything on the olive roll.
I had a guy.
Only sandwich I've ever had on the olive roll is muffalata.
The guy just reached out to me on Instagram and he goes, "Yo, Tobin. So yesterday, Only in Dade posted Tyreek Hill got traded back to the Chiefs. Up until right now, I just thought, why aren't these guys discussing that? Damn you. Damn April Fool. Anybody get got like that yesterday? I was so like anything yesterday. I was on my toes. I was like, I didn't even believe somebody was like, oh, the Calais Campbell April Fools. I'm like, who's April Fool's in about Calais Campbell? You know, like, but I did check. I'm making sure it wasn't Schnarfner. Like I was making sure I was on my P's and Q's on Twitter yesterday. Tiger Woods, did you see Tiger Woods' fake out?
No.
Tiger Woods faked everybody out for 5 minutes. He goes, I have made a miraculous recovery. And I am excited for the Masters.
The hyperbaric.
And then 6 minutes later goes, April Fools. I'm still messed up.
And you know what? Somebody should have replied, we know. There ain't no way. Now, if you thought that Jalen was beating science, if Tiger played in the Masters, that's beating science.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Yeah, it is tough. It sucks it sucks that all this stuff has gone down with Tiger, but man, has been the car wreck, everything his body's been through with the back even before that.
Yep.
Pretty wild. Because he is the best. He is awesome. Him winning that Masters and the comeback finally was like that's an all-time Goosey's moment for you.
Yeah, to see him win again and win the Masters again, that was awesome. But I mean, when I think of Tiger, I think about 2000 when he won pretty much everything. Right? He had all 4 majors. He didn't win them all in 1 year. But that I mean, he won. Put it this way. We talk about Tiger having all 4 majors at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what we overlook? Ernie Els was second in all of them.
Yeah, poor Ernie.
Every single one of them. Now, keep in mind, one he lost by 12 shots.
Yeah, second.
But
that's like you saying playing's playing. Second.
That guy, so you thinking if you're Ernie Els, you're playing the best golf of your life. You're competing in every major, and you're not even close.
Dade South says, how many people thought Val Kilmer was April Fool's? It was pretty late though, right? Like, wasn't that was like.
First of all, how many do we do this? We do this with actors and with musicians or whatever.
The fake death?
I did not know he was that old.
Ooh. What was he, 65?
65. Like, think about everything you've seen Val Kilmer in. None of it was old Val Kilmer.
That's true.
Everything you see Val Kilmer on TV, it's always the earlier stuff. So you never see Val Kilmer as an actor when he was old.
Did Val Kilmer do any late? What was the latest thing that he did, Froggy? You know of anything late that Val Kilmer was in?
Yes, of course. Everybody remembers Now and Sunrise.
You can just say no.
Nope. Slayers was his last movie in 2022.
Slayers.
Man, no one remembers that.
Yeah, but he wasn't badass Val Kilmer then.
Nope.
He was still over 60.
Top Gun Maverick, 2022.
Oh yeah, he did the reboot. Okay. Yeah, I saw something like that was like a really emotional comeback I was reading from
And Val Kilmer looked the same his whole career. Right? Like
Oh, Prince of Egypt? That's a good movie. That's a good movie. What? That's a Rotten Tomatoes.
It's just a great acting name too, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that's
you know.
Well, it almost sounds like he could have went. He could have been a girl or a boy when they were born. If it's a girl, Valerie. If it's a boy, Val.
Top Gun didn't get me, but now that I found out he was Moses and Prince of Egypt, I'm heartbroken.
That was his real name? For sure that would have been a stage name.
Can't be his real name. Too cool of a name.
It's a cool name. It says Val Edward Kilmer. It doesn't say born anything else different.
That has parents.
Val Edward.
Wow. Parents are his children. Mercedes Kilmer. Jack Kilmer. Jack Kilmer.
Jack Kilmer sounds like
that sounds like he should be doing like Jack Reacher 5, right?
I would take Jack Kilmer number 13 overall for the Miami Dolphins right now.
He's in the trenches.
He's got to be big though, right? He got to be a big one. Could you imagine? It's now starting at nose tackle, Jack
Kilmer.
He has to have his own intro music. Right.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Hyundai. At Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory at the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Panthers drop a heartbreaker to the Montreal Canadiens. 3-2 in overtime. We'll talk about it with David Dwork coming up in about 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
Love
that guy.
I love that guy too.
Dwork.
Cats back at it tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7:30. You can hear that game on 790 The Tick Cat.
They're 2 points behind the Maple Leafs, right?
3 now.
Oh, what happened? I thought they were. Oh, because Toronto played last night?
Let me see.
No, because I thought they were 3 behind and then they got a point.
They 3 behind or they're 2 behind?
No, they're 2 behind now.
They're 2 behind now.
Because they were 3 behind. Remember, if they were 3 behind, if they would have won that game and then beat Toronto, they would have been in first place.
They're at 92. And Tampa Bay's at 93.
Silly Sauce asked you, Tobin, what you call tonight? Statement game?
They just beat Toronto. Like, I don't think it's a statement game.
All right. Not a must win either, right?
No, it's not a must win. It's not a must win. Like, I think that they've shown again this year against Tampa and against Toronto. Montreal, for whatever reason, has their number. It's very strange.
Montreal beat them all 4 times, right?
Yeah, it's very strange why Montreal owns them this year, but I don't think it's a must win, but it definitely, Bob and net tonight, second night of a back-to-back. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask, but
I think you realize that when what's his name? Vanecek, that when you saw some of those goals, like when the reach around, I start thinking, ooh, Bob would have stretched over there and got that post.
Yep.
Right.
Bob's I look at it. I'm sure Vanecek's bigger, but I'm like, Bob's faster. He would have gotten there.
Flexibility.
He is. He's a gymnast.
Uh-oh.
Big Spoon?
Come on.
Oh, no, it's
right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Heat goes for its 6th win in a row tonight, taking on the Boston Celtics at 7:30. Our coverage begins at 6:15 with preheat. Marlins beat the Mets yesterday 4-2. Kyle Stowers went deep for the first time this year. 2-run bomb. Stour power. And
no.
Come on.
What rhymes?
We don't get Stour power for 1 home run.
No. Didn't he have the walk off?
He did. He did have the walk. Yep.
It was a pass ball.
No, that was the other one. They had 3 walk-off wins. Even Clayton McCullough's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, I don't know what to do. This isn't a walk-off win. Strange. Yep. First normal win. Now, it was a squeaker. It was squeaky cheeks.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God they got out of it. It says Leroy thinks the Panthers goalie was the Red Sox catcher. Jason Vanecek.
Hey, man.
Sandman got the win yesterday.
Yeah.
And Graham Pauley had the go-ahead 2-run double in the 4th, and that was enough. The Fish were able to lock it up from them there. NBA last night, Warriors beat the Grizzlies 134-125. Steph Curry 52 points, 12 3-pointers. You know he wants to take that Klay Thompson record down one of these days.
Sick of that guy. What's up with
I
him?
mean, what's the record? 15?
14.
14?
14. He was on it. He had a couple. He had looks. He came out of the gate. He missed a couple of early ones, so wasn't able to chase it down. But
saw him and Desmond Bain mixing it up there a
a
little
little
bit.
chippy. It seemed like it was fine afterwards, though.
Yeah.
Draymond Green after Jimmy Butler got Jaren Jackson Jr. on a pump fake, and Draymond Green just goes like this, waves goodbye for his 6th foul.
Of course he did.
And we're mad at Ja Morant for going finger guns.
Right.
This man's going bye-bye.
Menace.
And Timberwolves last night, they beat the Nuggets 140-139, double overtime.
That
Mikkola Jokic, 61 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
I can't imagine how Joker feels right now.
He feels hoarse.
You think he's giving what Westbrook the stink eye? Like just they traveling or whatever they doing, and he's just doing this.
I feel like his brothers would be like that. Like, how you blow a game, Westbrook? But I feel like Joker's like gives him a beer and he goes, "Let's go pet horse."
Wow. I looked up to see what's the most amount of points that have been put up in a loss.
Didn't Cat do?
Cat also had 62. Yeah.
Oh, Booker scored 71 in a loss.
Booker with 70 in a loss. So horrible.
Yeah, Booker scored 71 against the Celtics in a loss.
Yeah, then they got all these fake stats from like Will Chamberlain. I'm like, okay.
This is Will Chamberlain.
There it goes.
We'll take a break. David Dwork from the Hockey News and the Hockey Show, our favorite Panthers insider. Panthers took a gut punch last night. They got a monster matchup tonight against the Leafs. We'll talk to him next.
The Heat
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tobin and Leroy here with you. Hey, you guys want to go to LIV Golf? We're going to go another 4-pack away right now to Friday. If you guys want to go to Friday's round of LIV Miami at Trump Doral, caller number 6 right now to 305-567-0560. Caller 6 to 305-567-0560. They are going to get themselves a 4-pack of tickets to LIV Miami on Friday. All right, so check that on out. Caller 6 right now to 305-567-0560. Let us talk a little Panthers hockey. It's time for a thing we like to call Cat Talk, which is brought to us by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them now at hollywoodkia.com. From the Hockey News and the Hockey Show on Meadowlark Media with Roy Bellamy, the Hockey Hornet himself, David Dwork, joining us here on the program. Hello, sir. How are you? Somebody unmute. Is he? Unmute yourself, dude. I mean, we got you here for the big open on the show. You muted yourself.
Well, it's good that I was muted because of the word I just said when you said that. So it worked out.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm looking at the screen and I feel like I've seen Leroy in his setting many times, but it's just kind of hitting me that it looks like an evil lair, like that he's like the Dr. Evil at the end of the table with all the. It looks very cool.
Is it the red? The red
probably is what gives like the evil flair. And I'm not saying that like it's like look at like Leroy, like you're scary. I like it.
It is. It's a look.
Nobody treats me like I'm scary. I do a show with Tobin, and it's like everybody sympathizes with me. They feel bad for me because Tobin does Tobin stuff.
Fair. Well, maybe that's the arc. That's like your evil origin story.
Dude, last night was a gut punch. I was staring at the screen for a while. I couldn't accept it. It was like, what the hell just happened? What happened?
Yeah, a bad bounce. I mean, look, it sucks. Like, watching it happen, it felt like it was happening in slow motion because there was nothing but Panthers players around the puck, and then all of a sudden the puck goes sideways, and it just so happens that like the way that it hit the ice and bounced, and the way that it hit Sam Reinhart, it went in the perfect place where everybody wasn't. It was like a perfect comedy of errors that happened. It was great for the Montreal fans, obviously, but man, that's a little bit of a gut punch.
Now, we're to the point in the season where, we have a good team, they're getting healthy, and then hockey happens. Like, do you just shrug it off and move on? Because this time of year, you had a chance to get to within 1 point, and then you could take the lead in the division tonight. Or do you just like, wow, that was a tough break, and just keep it moving?
You have to just keep it moving. Like there's still 10 games, whatever it is, and you've got a playoff run ahead of you. You can't focus, particularly on a regular season game where you still got a point. Like it stings, and you want to think about it, and you want to kind of like, grind it out in your head a little bit. But no, you've got to move on. And I think this is one of the rare situations where it's a good thing that they have a back-to-back because they're forced to focus on a really good Toronto team. And as you said, Leroy, they're still 2 points behind. The division is right there for them. So they can't afford to think about what happened in Montreal right now. And it's frustrating because it wasn't just the loss. There was little things that happened. There was what happened at the end of the last game with Mikkola on the slap shot. And then there was a little retribution in last night's game. And it's fun and it's gritty and it's grimy. But no, like you've got to just tunnel vision right back ahead to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Otherwise, you're going to fall even further out of the race.
Did you think like I did that, Bob could have got over there because he's more flexible?
I mean,
yes.
It's a tough situation for any goalie because you've got a guy coming with speed down your left and you've got to seal off that post. And usually when there's more than 3 guys or 6 guys on the ice, when it's just 3-on-3, there's going to be bodies there that aren't going to allow a guy that much free space to get to the other post so fast. So it was tough to watch, but I don't think Vanecek necessarily did anything wrong on that play.
Right.
And Vanecek also had some really good saves earlier in the game, so I don't want to take anything away from that either. But it was a frustrating play, I think, just in terms of like the overtime and how it all played out. But I think that whole 5-minute block from the end of regulation to the end of overtime was just like, what the heck just happened?
Do we have a hard time as fans of our team giving the other team credit for a great play?
I think that's a general thing with fans, you know,
Because
who
it
wants
was
to
a real-
compliment
it
the
was-
guys that you want to.
Right. If it was
No.
our guy who did that same move, we'd be like, "Oh my goodness, did you see that?"
Oh, it'd be the best wraparound move of all time.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Like, put it on the top 10 sports. No, of course.
Right.
But no, otherwise it's like, dude, what was he thinking?
Right.
Sports, man.
Was in the building on Friday for Marchand's debut, where he has the setup in OT for Bennett. But what have been your early impressions of Brad Marchand in a Panthers jersey?
I'm still adjusting to it. And it's cool. Like, it's really neat. Like, when you see it's not like, he's skilled. He's amazing with the puck. He's got crazy bursts of speed. But when I see the little things after the whistle that, like, to what we were just saying, Leroy, the things that used to drive me crazy and what made you hate Brad Marchand, like, to see all those little things now with flying your flag, it's really cool. And I'm very much enjoying that because, like, what he does, what this guy personifies is so much like Panthers hockey. Like, he's a perfect fit. And so I just want to see it continue to build, because the more comfortable he gets, I think the more fun it's going to be for us to watch. But it's still a little weird.
What'd you make?
I can't wait for him to be on the ice with Tkachuk. Like, two of the same guy on different sides of the ice. Holy smokes.
The idea of a Bennett, Tkachuk, Marchand line in the playoffs, like, that's got to scare the crap out of you if you're another team, because that, like, that's not even the top line. You've still got Barkov and Reinhart that are going to come over the boards as well. But that's got to scare the crap out of you as an opposing player, just because of the physicality and the scariness that all of those players can bring to the table.
Well, I'm curious about this, man, because, like, you're infiltrating Marchand, and he said he wants to get as many games as possible. Is there any concern that you have going into the playoffs, probably getting Tkachuk back? You're going to get Ekblad back, and just adding these guys. Do you feel like it's going to be seamless, or is there any concern about getting everybody back into the fold the same way?
I mean, personally, I don't want to say I'm concerned, but it's something that I'm definitely paying attention to. This is something that I've been saying for a few weeks now, because if you go into a first round series, like, a week ago, it was against Ottawa, but whoever it may be, but let's just say Ottawa, they're playing insanely well right now. You're going to play against an Ottawa team where the first two games, you're not going to have Aaron Ekblad. You may or may not have Matthew Tkachuk back. And if you do, how game ready is he going to be? Because Paul Maurice just said the other day that it's going to take some time for him to get back into game shape and to get to that speed back down. So God forbid you fall behind 2-0 at home on home ice to a really hot team that just made the playoffs. You're in a really bad spot. So I would assume that this is something that the Panthers are very aware of, and that they're going to do everything they can to mitigate that. But no matter what, it's got to be a little bit of a concern, just because that's hockey, that's sports. You can't just hit the ground running, especially in the playoffs. Yeah. So hopefully the Panthers are able to prepare for that. But yes, it is something that I've thought about many times.
Is there any concern that Tkachuk's not going to, not Tkachuk, that Ekblad's not going to be as energized? Like, is it, I'm curious because
stop.
Like, how does this work when you come back? Like, does he get do they test him more? Like, is he going to be fine? Like, I don't know how this works in hockey.
The lack of smoothness asking that question is very, very impressive.
He's got no couth. He's got no couth. Like,
well, I thought he was set up.
Is Ekblad going to look smaller? What? Like, dude, you're trying to, like,
I don't know how to go about it. I know you got to interact with him.
Oh my God!
I'm sitting here. His number one rival last year was Koepka, and now it's potential supplements.
David, welcome to my world.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I can feel my lair changing around me. No, like, look, as far as we know, he took the wrong cold supplement. Like, this isn't necessarily a performance enhancing steroid type thing. Like, it's a long list, as you guys know, of things that could be on there. And we're not going to know ever. I can tell you that Ekblad has been skating. He's been working out. He's been doing everything he can to keep himself ready for the playoffs. To your specific question, I don't think that's going to be an issue, because I don't think necessarily it was an issue ahead of time. I think he's been playing very well just because he's been able to stay healthy. And even saying that, I feel like that kind of leads into what you were saying. But no, I don't think there's going to be much of an issue with Aaron Ekblad. I think based on the fact that he's healthy and that he's able to work out as much as he wants, that he should be able to hit the ground running as best as possible when we get to the playoffs. But still, you can't go from 0 to game 3 of the playoffs and just think it's all going to be good.
You think that some of these organizations, and I would say like the NFL, the NBA, baseball, even hockey, that they do their players a disservice sometimes by not announcing what the infraction was or what the drug was, because a lot of times you can get suspended for something that is considered a diuretic and not necessarily an actual steroid or something like that. But when we hear failed the drug test, we immediately think steroids or something along those lines.
I think in many cases that would be beneficial, but I think the problem is it's a slippery slope. And if you start labeling the good ones, then the ones that don't get labeled, then you kind of know what it is. So you're trying to keep that a secret, but then you can't because, he didn't do anything that wasn't okay, but not okay. But so I feel like, yes, that would be good for a lot of guys. And if that was the situation with Aaron Ekblad, which we don't know, then obviously that would be good for him to be able to say, look, I just made a little mistake. I wasn't trying to break the rules. But I think that would open a lot of guys up to a lot more exposure than maybe they and their teams want them to be. So it's one of those situations where there's just no black and white answer.
There's a lot of, like, I've seen it in the NFL. You can go to GNC and get a supplement off the counter and get flagged and suspended. And I think a lot of people just make the assumption, I'm not going to mention any names, that it's steroids or something along those lines, when it could have been something like, I know in football, creatine. If you take creatine or something like that, that is also banned.
I think during COVID, there were guys that like got suspended for taking like different cold supplements and things that they were trying to take just to like keep them from like not falling into the pandemic. And it was, oh wait, I didn't realize this was on the banned list. I bought it at Walgreens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, there's tons of things. Guys have to be very, very diligent with what they put into their bodies. Like, I don't think a lot of fans realize that. Like, they could buy something at Publix that could get them suspended and cost them millions of dollars. So it's tough, but that's part of the life, right?
Yeah, but the number one thing that we haven't mentioned that is important with Ekblad is he's a good boy and he would never do this.
Look, his wife also works in the medical profession, so like he should be very aware. So I think that's part of like why he put out that statement and why there was some shame in what happened, just because if anybody should be like on top of this, right?
It's him, right?
The this season by Samoskevich lately, I mean, holy crap! It feels like this kid is I guess I don't know if you thought he was going to be this impressive this year, but I think we had him on the show, and it feels like this last month and a half that he's had, the kid just keeps lighting it up. Do you feel like this is going to also carry over into the playoffs for a rook like him, because he looks ready for the stage, man?
You have no reason not to think, just because he's been on such a nice, steady ascension as the season has gone on. Paul Maurice has thrown a lot of credit to him being paired up with Sam Bennett and the chemistry that they have on and off the ice, and Sam kind of taking Mackie under his wing a little bit. But I think with especially young hockey players, but hockey players in general, confidence is such a huge part of success. And right now, I don't think that kid's probably ever felt as confident as he is right now. Maybe when he was in Michigan in college and doing Frozen Fours and all that. But I mean, this is the NHL. This is the best of the best. And he's out there and he's scoring goals like hotcakes right now. He's getting time on the top power play. He's getting pushed up the lines when the game is late and when they need a little offense. Paul Maurice has put him on the top line here and there. So the confidence both in the player and the coaching staff has in the player is growing. I keep going back to what I said before about the playoffs being a different beast, and Mackie's never experienced that before. Some guys are able to continue, and some guys it's overwhelming at first. Now, I would think that guys like Sam Bennett particularly, but this Panthers team would have him prepared for that. But it's been fun just to watch him kind of grow this year, to use his speed, to use his skill. We've heard a lot that this guy's got a crazy shot, but to see him actually putting it into good use, finding room to get one-timers off. Like, I love that they got him on the first power play, just because that's only going to build confidence more. It's been really fun because we haven't seen a rookie kind of blow up like this with the Panthers in a while. Like, you think Anton Lundell, he's been an amazing young player, but he had a great first year. He hasn't like blown up like that. He's just been an amazingly consistent, baby Barkey. So to see Mackie kind of take off like this as a first round pick is somebody that the Panthers could really need, because you guys know you need those cheap young contracts to supplement all those big deals at the top when you want to build something good and go after that D word that we keep talking about, that dynasty that they're trying to do. So this would be a big part of it. And to see Mackie taking off, like it's been really cool and really fun.
You think when guys when other teams see guys like that, so say if they face Ottawa, right? They're gonna look at somebody like Mackie and say, let's rough him up a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
you're gonna put a target on those guys' backs because you don't know necessarily how they're going to respond. And
Right.
anything you can do to get under a guy's skin, especially in the playoffs, you're gonna take every little thing to your advantage. And that's where having a guy like Brad Marchand is such a benefit, just because he knows like so many of those little things that are gonna get under so many guys' skin, as many of his teammates in Florida do. But yeah, no, to answer your question, absolutely. If I'm Ottawa or Montreal or whoever that their first round opponent may be, there are guys that you're going to be talking about. I want to try to poke this guy. I want to try to target this guy. I think I can get under this guy's skin and piss him off. Like, absolutely.
I love the idea of Lundell like wanting to have the fun that Samoskevich has, and like Barkey's like, "Is that the Finnish way?
Is that a smile?
You having too much fun?" Buddy, appreciate the time. Enjoy the action tonight. Go follow David Dwork's work. He is the best out there covering the Panthers. We love him. The hockey news, and you can hear him on the Hockey Show, Meadowlark Media with Roy Bellamy. Hockey Hornet, it was a pleasure.
Buzz. Love to Marcos and Jen. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Bye, Hockey Hornet.
Take a break. Mix things up on the other side. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Oh, hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you here on a hump day.
Hump day.
Hey,
Nice seeing you guys, too.
Can we get a weather update, Leroy, from the Demesman
Sure
and Dover
can.
Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call at 866-954-MORE. Demesman and Dover.
One big happy family. All right, it is
A roller coaster, dude? What's going on over there?
Oh, I think it's the wires.
slightly, I'd say a little more than partly cloudy, but not quite all the way cloudy because there's some sun poking through. Winds out of the southeast, east-southeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it's about 84 degrees.
How do you do, Froggy?
He did excellent as usual. He is correct. It is currently 85 degrees, so one little degree off. Currently, winds right now are at 11 miles per hour. They're coming out of the east southeast. Partly cloudy for the rest of the day. Small percent chance, only 10 on a little bit of rain later.
We don't discuss it unless it's over 20.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's get to the mix bag. What do you got for us today, Froggy?
Well, I have new regulations on my computer. That's what I have for you. But that won't stop me from giving the people what they want.
What is that?
Which is an update on all hilarious things that happen during halftime at a basketball game.
Okay.
We spoke about Crowder, unfortunately, breaking both of his feet.
Is he back? Is he
He's
still
back.
wheeling around?
He's kind of walking now. I think he's limping.
He was at
around.
Buckets and Bets. He had the wheelchair.
Yes, he did. He did.
At Buckets and Bets, he did a wheelie for me, and I was terrified.
Kind of impressive.
That's kind of what got his legs broke to start off with.
Yes, he should probably avoid the wheelies by all means. But nonetheless, it was an example of injuring yourself around the sport and not actually playing it. Leroy's familiar with the old water balloon toss of 2019. We remember.
Tweak the hammy.
But we're going to have to add something to the list of blunders, if you will, following yesterday's Atlanta Hawks game. Now, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, play it on my phone like this. Let me turn this light off here so you don't see the circle, because we've gotten much stricter here at Odyssey, as we should, of course. But let's go ahead and show you a play-by-play.
I like loopholes.
That's fair. Of this Atlanta Hawks halftime, we have two people here ready to compete.
All right.
And your standard 3-point half-court layup, you hit all those shots, you advance, and it seems like your normal run-of-the-mill competition.
Should be fine.
Should be fine.
Just
Should
look
be
like-
normal. You
Look like two spry gentlemen.
Yeah, you've been there a lot. It's an adequate amount of time that they're given to do all of these things. You know, you should at least get one half-court shot up.
You should. Depends. Sometimes I think you need like 30 to get them all off. All right.
And this gentleman, let's go back in for a second. Let's go back in.
Oh no!
Let's go back in
He
for a
blew
second.
a wheel.
As you see, this gentleman is on his way up. The gentleman in the red hat here is on his way up. You'll see him in the bottom right window there, and he blows a tire on the way up and does what no one wants to see. Grabs his knee immediately. And you know that's always a good non-contact. You're going up for it. You see the gentleman up here on the bottom right. Whoop! Oh no! That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it.
No.
Another guy just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Question.
Game Ops, camera off. Game Ops is like, whoa, we got something going on here.
The show must go on.
Okay,
Hey,
so
question.
they're doing what looks like basket tic-tac-toe, where they gotta hit a
Exactly.
bucket, hit a
Hey,
bucket, and then
Why
go
am I
for-
laughing so hard? Hey, that's not. I mean,
It was
Poor
a little
guy.
bit later. They checked in on him. Game ops decided, in the middle of the game, let's go ahead and check in on the
Oh
gentleman.
my goodness.
Is that a gurney?
That is a gurney.
They brought a
indeed.
gurney out for him.
He is
You gotta
being
make sure you don't
stretched
get
off.
sued.
Hey, by the way,
Oh no, not Trey Young.
Trey Young,
Mocking
Trey Young put the towel in the face.
Oh,
Oh my
no.
getting stretchered off.
Oh no, that's gonna put a stop.
God.
How is that?
He can't
not-
believe it.
How is this
Hey,
not an April Fool's?
Can I just say this? Can I just say this?
They clap it up for him.
There's no way he can go home,
Oh no,
right?
that's your boy there, Leroy.
Oh, George Niang.
Oh, watch out.
Hey, hey.
What are you gonna say about that?
Look, you got anything to say about this? Yeah,
Wow, they got the full
They got the
like
the hydraulics.
are they like holding his
Damage
hand?
is done.
yeah, they clap it up for him on the way out as well. Everyone's happy.
They're
They
clapping.
clap it up
They're laughing.
on the way out.
Donovan Klingen's like,
Not good. You can never tell your
Hey,
friends.
I tell you what he can't do. He better not never comment on a basketball player missing a dunk or layup.
that is just rough for him.
he's blaming a wet spot.
Oh yeah.
He's blaming.
Is
wet
that a
spot.
lawsuit? In your opinion, is that a lawsuit? Right? You're embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Whoop.
Oh,
my gosh!
man!
Seemed like
He tried to gather and it went bye bye.
and then game ops is like, well, we still have a competition.
But to
going
the
on.
point where the game's like he's not getting up. They're not gonna walk him up. They're like, no. Whoa. Let's get him the old gurney.
What's the least amount of I don't know, store credit you can possibly get after tearing your ACL at a halftime show?
I mean, he didn't even make one layup. I think that's probably $100 at Hawksland.
what? Just $100?
Where the cheapest thing is
Well,
150.
he's signing a waiver for sure, right? Can he sue them?
I'm sure there has to be some sort of loophole. That's why they did the whole gurney thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what did they do? Unless there was sweatiness that he slipped on, which is definitely what he's going to claim. One of the towel boys missed it. Well, let me tell you something about those towel boys. Those guys get after it.
They
I
do.
mean, like, there's like you have a little, a little sweat, and they're out there.
Where there's one guy with the broom and then the guy throws the towels down afterwards. I want to be the broom guy. I don't want to be on my knees.
That's tough.
That's fair.
That's tough, man.
What?
Oh no.
I don't know. I think at the very least, you don't cover his medical bills, right? You can't cover, but you can give him a jersey with his name on it or something.
Maybe
Wait. First of all,
you're gonna have
you
like
don't want any indication that dude has played
Put
basketball.
his name in the rap.
Oh yeah, hang his
you
shirt.
need to have you'll get the fourth most important Hawk.
That's not fair, dude.
George Niang.
Yeah, George
Oh,
Niang's gonna
man.
go visit him in the hospital.
Oh,
Like
great.
Trey's not going to visit him.
That's
Not
fine.
even Dyson Daniels is going to visit him. Maybe Capella.
That's rough, dude. That is rough. And the whole time though, I was like, okay, this is clearly an April Fool's. This has to be April
No,
Fool's.
listen. Why? Because we do a show with Tobin, we think everything is a bit. Nobody can be seriously hurt. Oh no, this is a bit. This is not real. That's it, like-
Oh, dude,
That's your fault,
That looked
Tobin.
pretty real.
that would be great. I mean,
No,
that
but
would be
Tobin,
great.
you got Marcos watching TV going, it's a bit. It's not real.
Can't trust it. Can't trust it.
When did you think it was real? When the gurney came out?
I'm still waiting on them to come out and say this is one of those bits.
Carl, we're sorry about what happened, but don't worry. Karis LeVert is here to lift your spirits.
It's all good. All good. Man.
Yeah. Hey, we got a number for you. The man's winning Dover. Yeah, but they can't do this. They're Florida lawyers, so it wouldn't even help.
Ethan says, get him a custom jersey instead of ATL. It says ACL.
That would be crazy.
That's a game ops statement right there.
Game ops. That would be beautiful, right? Everybody would know who it is too.
And petty.
And
Dade South says they give him some Magic City wings. Got you these lemon pepper loos. Oh man, that was funny. We'll take a break, but before that, if you guys want to go to LIV on Friday, got another 4-pack to give away. Leroy works out. We're gonna be broadcasting there live tomorrow.
We're live
right.
tomorrow.
Hobnobbing. Can't wait. The Pro-Am is tomorrow. The actual round gets going on Friday. If you guys want to go, caller. Let's go caller number 8. Caller 8 to 305-567-0560. Caller 8 to 305-567-0560 will win a 4-pack to Friday's round of LIV Miami LIV Golf. Caller 8 to 305-567-0560 wins a 4-pack. Take a break. Back with more after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy. Back with you here, 560 WQAM. Getting some headlines here brought to us by Doral Hyundai. At Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai miles in inventory of the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. Heat back on the hardwood tonight. They're going for their 6th win in a row, taking on the Boston Celtics. 7:30 is your tip-off tonight from Beantown. 6:15 preheat with Alejandro Solana. This is a show me something game. This is show me something game, boys.
Show me,
show me a little something.
Is that new? Do we add
this
that
is show
to
me
the
something,
list?
because like this Boston team has been kicking the snot out of the Heat for a while, and this has obviously been a tough year. But the Heat riding high right now. Yeah, they've beat up on some putrid competition, but a 5-game win streak is a 5-game win streak.
That's right.
And we roll in tonight.
Yeah.
Into Boston.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo.
That's right.
Tyler Hero.
That guy.
Pella Larson.
Eventually.
What do you mean eventually?
Well, like the second unit, probably.
No, he's been starting the last 2 games.
I don't think so.
No, what do you mean you don't think so? He has.
Austin, though, you know?
He's the 3rd leading scorer the last 2 games.
Gotta get taller.
What?
Gotta get big.
Ware.
Yeah.
I guess Alec Burks, he's kind of been shooting hot.
Oh, what about that guy?
We don't have Andrew Wiggins. His
Yeah.
hamstring is not working right now.
What a shocker.
And then Duncan Robinson is the spine thing.
Too horny.
We don't know that.
His
You can't just throw things like that out
He
there.
humped his spine out of his pelvis or something.
Perhaps Jaime Jaquez Jr. found something.
Whoa. Maybe he's back.
Terry Rozier revenge game?
Well.
Revenge what?
Well, they got rid of him.
Come
They
on.
sent him to the Hornets.
Yeah.
He's got to feel some type of way about that.
All downhill after
Never
that.
got to have that playoff series there last year, and he's he was shooting hot. So maybe he's got something. Maybe the investigation. Nothing.
Okay.
So tonight,
Yeah.
you show me something, Miami Heat.
All right.
Show me. Do you got Bam Adebayo on this matchup? Bam Adebayo has thoughts on the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat and tonight's game. And here's the captain.
Yeah. We're going to go out there, play to our best of our ability, and, let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. No. Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
I love chips.
You're messing with their hype.
I know I am. But I'm going to tell you this. I know Tobin.
what?
If somebody had ever said, oh, we're going to go out and play hard, whatever happens, happens, you would flip out. No, dude, I need a win.
I did want a little bit more. I did want
Right. Right.
Yeah.
like we sit here, like, yeah,
Bam
he
Adebayo
gave you the old company line and you put it in your hype video.
Bam
Company
Adebayo.
line in the hype video.
Here's Bam. Let's see what happens.
Get a door pass.
And y'all just, you think I'm just going to let that go?
Bam was
No.
like, what do you want Bam to say? He goes, you see what Drew Holiday does every time he faces Tyler Hero?
But
We got it going tonight.
what you
Leroy.
sold
Yeah,
it,
we do.
you sold it like he was going out there putting up bulletin board material. And then he said, we're going to go out there and play hard and whatever happens, happens.
Under promise, over deliver.
I really did think there was a little bit more to that.
And there's a lot of guys questionable for the Celtics tonight.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are questionable. Al Horford.
Oh, yeah. He's
Questionable.
so old.
The what?
Drew Holiday. Questionable. Kristaps Porzingis lives his life questionable.
I haven't even seen him all
And
season.
Jalen Brown's questionable.
I don't think you're saying that.
Well, the chips fall where they may.
When I said what 3 questionables ago, nobody said nothing.
It's very strange.
Well, he wasn't going to stop until he officially came to a stop.
Oh no! When I said something about it, then
So
he
now we're
said,
questioning
wait,
your questionable.
No, when I questioned it, then he threw 5 more in for good measure.
Exactly.
I know how he operates.
Chips fall where they may. Chips fall where they may. Chips fall where they may.
Could you imagine that as a chant?
People would mess it up.
Big effort. Chips fall where they may.
We're gonna try hard. We're gonna try hard.
Yes. Yes.
What? This rivalry, we were there.
I would have been better off if he would have said, yeah, we can go out here and try to keep this thing going. We playing good basketball right now. And like, yeah,
I don't think maybe we're off base. Can we hear his tone? Maybe his tone was a little off. Let's hear Bam Adebayo once
his
again.
tone sound like they don't have a
on
damn
this
chance.
6 straight season-long win streak for the Miami Heat if they win.
Yeah. We're going to go out there, play to our best of our ability, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah! That's right!
Yeah.
It was there.
Hey,
Yeah, we're gonna
put
just,
it this way.
Up there and do it.
Let me ask you, Tobin.
That was good.
But
If you had $100
yeah.
for a chili pepper,
Mm.
those comments were not reassuring.
No, I can't say they're reassuring. I can't say that. I can't say that.
But
They started off
in
on a
fairness,
good tone,
in
and
fairness
then
to Bam, he said the right thing. Right?
You want to
Like,
hear Spolstra?
You're just making fun.
Here's Eric Spolstra on tonight's game. This is what Coach Spo had to say. The chips fall where they may. The chips fall where.
Our guys are competitors, so they're going to look forward to this. It's not like we're going to, be ducking the competition or anything like that, but we've developed some much better habits. Process has been solid. Guys are gaining confidence. I think all of this kind of build up the adversity and playing well. Hopefully, we give us a real good shot at it in Boston.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to show up.
We ain't ducking nobody.
We are going to show up to
We're
this
here.
game. We're not scared.
We're here.
You think I haven't got my ass kicked by Peyton Pritchard before?
Wow.
All right. The chips fall where they may. Final headline. Carmelo Anthony got elected to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Melo.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they were doing that.
Hey, there is nothing funnier than that D Wade Carmelo commercial.
Which one?
It's a mini Melo. It's a mini Melo.
Who else? Any other notable names?
That was the only one that I saw headlines wise. I don't know if there was like a whole class I got announced, but they I think this was a Shams bomb. I think he leaked that Carmelo's going in. I don't know who else is on the ballot this year.
Come on.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I forgot Melo was on the Thunder.
Melo was on the Thunder. Wow.
And the Lakers. Anybody remember Melo on the Lakers with LeBron at the end of his career?
Very strange.
He didn't play.
That's the chips falling where they may.
I mean, they got that banana boat together about 5 years too late. And they never got them all together at the same time.
It's like
LeBron just played with one or two, except for who didn't play? He didn't play with
he never played with CP3.
He didn't play with CP3. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, look, they other finalists include Dwight Howard, Buck Williams, and Marquise Johnson. I don't know those last two.
Dwight Howard should get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We think so?
Yeah.
How many
depoys did he win?
Yeah,
2?
at least,
3?
I think 3, maybe. Dwight Howard, depoys.
I would say like 2000.
The scariest thing about Dwight Howard is this is the scariest thing to me about Dwight Howard.
In a row. Oof.
LeBron is taller than him.
Yep. Dwight Howard, like 2009 to like 2012.
Yeah.
Monster.
He was an 8-time All-Star, 5-time first team from 2008-2012, and a 4-time All-Defensive First Team 2009.
He's for sure getting in the Hall of Fame.
First and only player to win the Depoy 3 consecutive seasons.
And he won a title in the bubble.
And a dunk competition as well. Yeah, he deserves it. That's nice. Shaq hates him. I don't know.
Hates him, dude. Hates his ass. Wow. Take a break. Back after this.
It's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance. Jam. All right.
Welcome back.
Somebody said chip.
Leroy Show. What's
Somebody
up?
said chip. So
you got some chips?
So you decided to get some chips. Are they under your chair?
And dip.
Oh, and dip. Well, you know what they say. You put your hands upon my hip. When I dip, you dip.
Those chips.
There you go. There you go.
What chips were you eating, Leroy?
I have what are those little like I forgot what they're called. Like crackers.
Pirate's booty.
That's popcorn.
But my dip is salsa, cheese, ground meat, jalapenos.
Jesus.
Okay.
Goodness.
It's a meat sauce. All those chips talk that we did last segment it drove Leroy to get some.
Got hungry. And that 15 minutes of heat, which is brought to us by our friends over at Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit my line at hollywoodkia.com. We gave away all our 4-pack. We good, Marcos?
We
all
are
our
all
4-packs.
good.
Everybody got their tickets.
Indeed.
We're going to be out at LIV tomorrow. Live. Hobnobbing.
Yeah.
Cool thing. This year, we get to park on site.
Oh,
that is exciting. That is
I
exciting.
do? I don't have to walk?
Yeah. No.
I mean, not walk. I don't have to take the shuttle?
Yeah, the shuttle.
That's what they say. That's what they say, Bam.
It was far away, too.
The shuttle took me so far, and then they couldn't find my credentials anywhere, so I had to go to 5 different rooms.
I do
well,
love
you got a face that's not trustworthy, so they're probably like,
for sure.
She's on the no golf list.
Yeah, we've heard about you.
Oh, we've heard about you. She's
Dude,
a hot one.
I can honestly say,
she stole food from the
how
Panthers.
many golfers would you know if they walked up to you and said hi?
Me?
Across the league? Just one.
Oh, really?
I think I would know, I was doing this yesterday because I gave him a list of people I want to talk to, and I was like, I probably recognize 5.
Really?
That's 5.
What about
I know Dustin Johnson because we saw him vaping by our stage secretly last year. I was like,
Can I bring a cone tomorrow?
Is that Dustin Johnson?
You would know Phil.
I know Phil. I know what DeChambeau looks like. I know what Koepka looks like, obviously.
Yeah.
How about Sergio?
I would know Sergio. I would know Bubba, but I'd have to be like, hey.
You would know Bubba because he's kind of tall compared to golfers, and
he's the only one he's the only one who wears that hat, that weird visor.
Oh yeah.
He wears like that. He wears the visor, but it's like the Steve Spurrier visor, like it's high,
Right.
Or he might be wearing his Pensacola Wahoo's hat. Marlins A-ball.
No, you got to wear the team uniform.
Oh, that's right. They have uniforms.
Yeah.
Could I ask Bubba Watson, do you guys have torpedo bats with the Pensacola Wahoos?
Ooh. What about a torpedo club?
Ooh, well, they had that. Leroy was explaining that. They had basically torpedo club. They had to take the regulations down.
So the way golf works.
Tomorrow is his Super Bowl.
Keep in mind, back in the day, used to use a wood driver, wood irons. And the grooves of the clubs used to be cut a certain way. What happened was these guys got so good, especially with the metal woods coming out, they got so good that the grooves, even if you were hitting it out of the rough, your ball would get spin on it, which there was no penalty for hitting it in the rough. So they changed the rule about how thick, how deep the grooves could be in your irons. And then with the whole metalwood thing, then they start using like carbon fiber. They start using different materials. And then they realized that the golf club had too much spring. So then they adjust that. But so it's a thing in a work in progress. Same thing with you used to be able to take your putter and anchor it on your chest.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The two-handers.
Now you can't do that.
Like this.
Now you can't do that. You can't anchor it on your chest.
I'm
they
glad
still
about that.
use it, but it's suspended in air. It's not anchored on the chest.
Delightful. Tonight we got a lot of action. You got Heat, Celtics. We're gonna see where the chips fall. 7:30 is your tip-off tonight from TD Garden. Cats, and that's on QAM. Cats, they're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thank God they're not taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was the last Cat win in regulation, by the way, was the Maple Leafs.
I was looking at like a lot of overtime.
A lot of OTs, yeah.
Extra time.
See if we can get one. See if we can get one within 60 tonight. 7:30 is the puck drop. You can hear that game on 7:90. The Tick Cat tonight. Panthers preview at 7:00, getting you ready for all that action. And the Marlins will wrap up their series this afternoon at 4:40. Connor Gillespie on
And
the
then if you want to watch midnight sports, the Pinks.
Pinks at 11:30 in the first leg of their quarterfinal Champions Cup against LAFC. So it is a packed night of sports. But just got
what's going on?
Kind of feels like we should talk to David Dwork about that Panthers game tonight. I don't know about
feeling all right. You may need to switch your shirt.
I think I don't know. That was feeling pretty replayable. So if you missed it, David Dwork from the Hockey News and the Hockey Show from Meadowlark Media will break all things Panthers down before this monster matchup tonight. He'll join us next.
The Heat
Visit them now at hollywoodkia.com. From the Hockey News and the Hockey Show on Meadowlark Media with Roy Bellamy, the Hockey Hornet himself, David Dwork, joining us here on the program. Hello, sir. How are you? Somebody unmute. Is he? Unmute yourself, dude. I mean, we got you here for the big open on the show. You muted yourself.
Well, it's good that I was muted because of the word I just said when you said that. So it worked out.
Perfect. How are you?
I'm looking at the screen and I feel like I've seen Leroy in his setting many times, but it's just kind of hitting me that it looks like an evil lair, like that he's like the Dr. Evil at the end of the table with all the. It looks very cool.
Is it the red? Is it the red?
The red probably is what gives like the evil flair. And I'm not saying that like it's like look at like Leroy, like you're scary. I like it.
It is. It's a look.
Nobody treats me like I'm scary. I do a show with Tobin, and it's like everybody sympathizes with me. They feel bad for me because Tobin does Tobin stuff.
Fair. Well, maybe that's the arc. That's like your evil origin story.
Dude, last night was a gut punch. I was staring at the screen for a while. I couldn't accept it. It was like, what the hell just happened? What happened?
Yeah, a bad bounce. I mean, look, it sucks. Like, watching it happen, it felt like it was happening in slow motion because there was nothing but Panthers players around the puck. And then all of a sudden the puck goes sideways. And it just so happens that like the way that it hit the ice and bounced and the way that it hit Sam Reinhart, it went in the perfect place where everybody wasn't. It was like a perfect comedy of errors that happened. It was great for the Montreal fans, obviously, but man, that's a little bit of a gut punch.
Now, we're to the point in the season where, we have a good team, they're getting healthy, and then hockey happens. Like, do you just shrug it off and move on? Because, this time of year, you had a chance to get to within 1 point, and then you could take the lead in the division tonight. Or do you just like, wow, that was a tough break and just keep it moving?
You have to just keep it moving. Like there's still 10 games, whatever it is, and you've got a playoff run ahead of you. You can't focus, particularly on a regular season game where you still got a point. Like it stings and you want to think about it and you want to kind of like, grind it out in your head a little bit, but no, you've got to move on. And I think this is one of the rare situations where it's a good thing that they have a back-to-back because they're forced to focus on a really good Toronto team. And as you said, Leroy, they're still 2 points behind. The division is right there for them. So they can't afford to think about what happened in Montreal right now. And it's frustrating because it wasn't just the loss. There was little things that happened. There was what happened at the end of the last game with Mikkola on the slap shot. And then there was a little retribution in last night's game. And it's fun and it's gritty and it's grimy. But no, like you've got to just tunnel vision right back ahead to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Otherwise, you're going to fall even further out of the race.
Did you think like I did that, Bob could have got over there because he's more flexible?
I mean,
yes.
It's a tough situation for any goalie because you've got a guy coming with speed down your left and you've got to seal off that post. And usually when there's more than 3 guys or 6 guys on the ice, when it's just 3-on-3, there's going to be bodies there that aren't going to allow a guy that much free space to get to the other post so fast. So it was tough to watch, but I don't think Vanecek necessarily did anything wrong on that play.
Right.
And Vanecek also had some really good saves earlier in the game, so I don't want to take anything away from that either. But it was a frustrating play, I think, just in terms of like the overtime and how it all played out. But I think that whole 5-minute block from the end of regulation to the end of overtime was just like, what the heck just happened?
Do we have a hard time as fans of our team giving the other team credit for a great play?
I think that's a general thing with fans,
Because
who wants to compliment the guys that you want to.
Right. If it was our guy who did that same move, we'd be like, oh my goodness, did you see that?
Oh, it'd be the best wraparound move of all time. Right. Are you kidding me? Like, put it on the top 10 sport. No, of course.
Right.
But no, otherwise it's like, dude, what was he thinking?
Right.
Sports,
was in the building on Friday for Marchand's debut, where he has the setup in OT for Bennett. But what have been your early impressions of Brad Marchand in a Panthers jersey?
I'm still adjusting to it. And it's cool. Like, it's really neat. Like, when you see, it's not like, he's skilled. He's amazing with the puck. He's got crazy bursts of speed. But when I see the little things after the whistle that like to what we were just saying, Leroy, the things that used to drive me crazy and what made you hate Brad Marchand, like to see all those little things now with flying your flag, it's really cool. And I'm very much enjoying that because like what he does, what this guy personifies is so much like Panthers hockey. Like he's a perfect fit. And so I just want to see it continue to build because the more comfortable he gets, I think the more fun it's going to be for us to watch. But it's still a little weird.
What'd you make?
I can't wait for him to be on the ice with Tkachuk. Like two of the same guy on different sides of the ice. Holy smokes.
The idea of a Bennett Tkachuk Marchand line in the playoffs, like that's gotta scare the crap out of you if you're another team, because you know that like that's not even the top line. You've still got Barkov and Reinhart that are going to come over the boards as well. But that's got to scare the crap out of you as an opposing player just because of the physicality and the scariness that all of those players can bring to the table.
Well, I'm curious about this, man, because like you're infiltrating Marchand, and he said he wants to get as many games as possible. Is there any concern that you have going into the playoffs, probably getting Tkachuk back? You're going to get Ekblad back. And just adding these guys, do you feel like it's going to be seamless, or is there any concern about getting everybody back into the fold the same way?
I mean, personally, I don't want to say I'm concerned, but it's something that I'm definitely paying attention to. This is something that I've been saying for a few weeks now, because if you go into a first round series, like, you know, a week ago, it was against Ottawa, but whoever it may be, but let's just say Ottawa, they're playing insanely well right now. You're going to play against an Ottawa team where the first two games, you know, you're not going to have Aaron Ekblad. You may or may not have Matthew Tkachuk back. And if you do, how game ready is he going to be? Because Paul Maurice just said the other day that it's going to take some time for him to get back into game shape and to get to that speed back down. So God forbid you fall behind 2-0 at home on home ice to a really hot team that just made the playoffs. You're in a really bad spot. So I would assume that this is something that the Panthers are very aware of and that they're going to do everything they can to mitigate that. But no matter what, it's got to be a little bit of a concern just because that's hockey, that's sports. You can't just hit the ground running, especially in the playoffs. So hopefully the Panthers are able to prepare for that. But yes, it is something that I've thought about many times.
Is there any concern that Tkachuk's not going to, I'm not Tkachuk, that Ekblad's not going to be as energized? Like, is it, you know, I'm curious because
stop.
Like, how does this work when you come back? Like, does he get do they test him more? Like, is he, you know, is he going to be fine? Like, I don't know how this works in hockey.
The lack of smoothness asking that question is very, very impressive.
He's got no couth. He's got no couth. Like,
well, I thought he was set up.
Is Ekblad going to look smaller? What, like, dude, you're trying to, like,
I don't know how to go about it. I know you got to interact with him.
Oh my God!
Like, I'm sitting here. His number one rival last year was Koepka, and now it's potential supplements.
David, welcome to my world.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I can feel my lair changing around me. No, like I look, as far as we know, he took the wrong cold supplement. Like, this isn't necessarily a performance enhancing steroid type thing. Like, it's a long list, as you guys know, of things that could be on there. And we're not going to know ever. I can tell you that Ekblad has been skating. He's been working out. He's been doing everything he can to keep himself ready for the playoffs. To your specific question, I don't think that's going to be an issue because I don't think necessarily it was an issue ahead of time. I think he's been playing very well just because he's been able to stay healthy. And even saying that, I feel like that kind of leads into what you were saying. But no, I don't think there's going to be much of an issue with Aaron Ekblad. I think based on the fact that he's healthy and that he's able to work out as much as he wants, that he should be able to hit the ground running as best as possible when we get to the playoffs. But still, you can't go from 0 to game 3 of the playoffs and just think it's all going to be good.
You think that some of these organizations, and I would say like the NFL, the NBA, baseball, even hockey, that they do their players a disservice sometimes by not announcing what the infraction was or what the drug was, because a lot of times you can get suspended for something that is considered a diuretic and not necessarily an actual steroid or something like that. But when we hear failed the drug test, we immediately think steroids or something along those lines.
I think in many cases that would be beneficial, but I think the problem is it's a slippery slope. And if you start labeling the good ones, then the ones that don't get labeled, then you kind of know what it is. So you're trying to keep that a secret, but then you can't because, he didn't do anything that wasn't okay, but not okay. But so I feel like, yes, that would be good for a lot of guys. And if that was the situation with Aaron Ekblad, which we don't know, then obviously that would be good for him to be able to say, look, I just made a little mistake. I wasn't trying to break the rules. But I think that would open a lot of guys up to a lot more exposure than maybe they and their teams want them to be. So it's one of those situations where there's just no black and white answer.
There's a lot of, like, I've seen it in the NFL. You can go to GNC and get a supplement off the counter and get flagged and suspended. And I think a lot of people just make the assumption, I'm not going to mention any names, that it's steroids or something along those lines, when it could have been something like, I know in football, creatine. If you take creatine or something like that, that is also banned.
I think during COVID, there were guys that like got suspended for taking like different cold supplements and things that they were trying to take just to like keep them from like not falling into the pandemic. And it was, oh wait, I didn't realize this was on the banned list. I bought it at Walgreens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, there's tons of things. Guys have to be very, very diligent with what they put into their bodies. Like, I don't think a lot of fans realize that. Like, they could buy something at Publix that could get them suspended and cost them millions of dollars. So it's tough, but that's part of the life, right?
Yeah, but the number one thing that we haven't mentioned that is important with Ekblad is he's a good boy and he would never do this.
Look, his wife also works in the medical profession, so like he should be very aware. So I think that's part of like why he put out that statement and why there was some shame in what happened, just because if anybody should be like on top of this, right?
It's him, right?
The this season by Samoskevich lately, I mean, holy crap! It feels like this kid is I guess I don't know if you thought he was going to be this impressive this year, but I think we had him on the show, and it feels like this last month and a half that he's had, the kid just keeps lighting it up. Do you feel like this is going to also carry over into the playoffs for a rook like him, because he looks ready for the stage, man?
You have no reason not to think, just because he's been on such a nice, steady ascension as the season has gone on. Paul Maurice has thrown a lot of credit to him being paired up with Sam Bennett and the chemistry that they have on and off the ice, and Sam kind of taking Mackie under his wing a little bit. But I think with especially young hockey players, but hockey players in general, confidence is such a huge part of success. And right now, I don't think that kid's probably ever felt as confident as he is right now. Maybe when he was in Michigan and college and doing Frozen Fours and all that. But I mean, this is the NHL. This is the best of the best. And he's out there and he's scoring goals like hotcakes right now. He's getting time on the top power play. He's getting pushed up the lines when the game is late and when they need a little offense. Paul Maurice has put him on the top line here and there. So the confidence both in the player and the coaching staff has in the player is growing. I keep going back to what I said before about the playoffs being a different beast, and Mackie's never experienced that before. Some guys are able to continue, and some guys it's overwhelming at first. Now, I would think that guys like Sam Bennett particularly, but this Panthers team would have him prepared for that. But it's been fun just to watch him kind of grow this year, to use his speed, to use his skill. We've heard a lot that this guy's got a crazy shot, but to see him actually putting it into good use, finding room to get one-timers off. Like, I love that they got him on the first power play, just because that's only going to build confidence more. It's been really fun because we haven't seen a rookie kind of blow up like this with the Panthers in a while. Like, you think Anton Lundell, he's been an amazing young player, but he had a great first year. He hasn't like blown up like that. He's just been an amazingly consistent, baby Barkey. So to see Mackie kind of take off like this as a first round pick is somebody that the Panthers could really need, because you guys know you need those cheap young contracts to supplement all those big deals at the top when you want to build something good and go after that D word that we keep talking about, that dynasty that they're trying to do. So this would be a big part of it. And to see Mackie taking off, like it's been really cool and really fun.
You think when guys, when other teams see guys like that, so say if, they face Ottawa, right? They're going to look at somebody like Mackie and say, let's rough him up a little bit.
Yeah, why not? You're going to put a target on those guys' backs because you don't know necessarily how they're going to respond. And anything you can do to get under a guy's skin, especially in the playoffs, you're going to take every little thing to your advantage. And that's where having a guy like Brad Marchand is such a benefit, just because he knows like so many of those little things that are going to get under so many guys' skin, as many of his teammates in Florida do. But yeah, no, to answer your question, absolutely. If I'm Ottawa or Montreal or whoever that their first round opponent may be, they're guys that you're going to be talking about. I want to try to poke this guy. I want to try to target this guy. I think I can get under this guy's skin and piss him off. Like, absolutely.
I love the idea of Lundell like wanting to have the fun that Samoskevich has, and like Barkey's like, "Is that the Finnish way?
Is that a smile?
You having too much fun?" Buddy, appreciate the time. Enjoy the action tonight. Go follow David Dwork's work. He is the best out there covering the Panthers. We love him. The hockey news, and you can hear him on the Hockey Show, Meadowlark Media with Roy Bellamy. Hockey Hornet, it was a pleasure.
Buzz. Love to Marcos and Jen. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Bye, Hockey Hornet.